How's everybody doing? Um, it is, what is it? It's Friday slash Saturday, right? Like Saturday morning. And I can't go to sleep, but the pain has subsided a little bit. And I started thinking about you know, my gardening and the different things I want to do tomorrow morning, or at least Saturday. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, let me call my mom, right? I want to call my mom, so I call my mom. And my mom doesn't answer. I can't even leave her a message because she's never set up her voicemail. Hey Carmel, how you doing? So I know some of y'all wondering, hey Gemini, I know you're wondering, Mom, why would you wish you were Soncerae? So, when I get into these little moods where I start thinking about my dad, and I'm not sure if any of you know this, but my dad passed away like last July. And I start thinking about him. Every time I cook something that I don't remember how to cook it the right way, or me doing this garden, this is the first year that I'm going to be doing my gardening without my dad help, right? Usually I say, Dad, I want to grow some green beans, or should I do the pole beans, or should I do the, just the normal type of beans? And he would say, yeah, just do the pole beans. Make sure you get this, that, and the third. And here I am. For the first time, not having my dad to call, right? So I started thinking, let me call him anyway, right? I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to call his cell phone, and he's going to answer. I'm going to call my dad's cell phone, and he's going to answer. And he's going to tell me how to make sure my garden do well this year. And then I start thinking, if I do that, my mom is going to freak out, because my mom still has my dad's cell phone, and they haven't cut it off yet. So if I call that phone, my mom's going to hear it ringing. She's going to freak out. Everybody's going to freak out, and it'll be my fault. So I say to myself, well, I'm not crazy, and I know he's not going to answer. So, but I wish I could be like Soncerae, right? I wish I could live in this imaginary fucking world where everything is whatever I want it to be. Where I could call my dad and say, hey, how you doing? I could tell y'all stories of how my dad just told me a joke, because my dad is a fantastic man. He tells me jokes every time I call him. Who is that? What are you doing? Oh, you by yourself? Oh. Okay, so my garden is over there. The lights are on. Who, did you put lights up?
What? Jumping down the stairs?
Yeah, why would you jump down the goddamn stairs?
No.
Well, what was that noise?
I tripped.
Oh, you about to break your ass on the steps, huh? Look at me, y'all. Bye. Be safe out there. Anyway, my kids don't know I'm crying, so I don't want them to know, okay? Anyway, so as I'm doing this video on the gardening, right? Because this is my first time doing it indoors. See, my dad wouldn't know how to do this indoor shit, because I'm from Louisiana. And He's always lived in Louisiana. I don't think my dad ever lived anywhere else except Louisiana. And therefore, it's warm pretty much all the time. You could grow things there year round, pretty much, right? It never gets below, I'm saying it really doesn't get below 30 degrees. It's usually around maybe that 50, 60 degrees in the wintertime. You can grow all kinds of shit in the wintertime. So the beginning of January, you can start growing shit. So he has never done this shit indoors. But it doesn't matter because I still would have called him. I would have been like, hey, Dad, I'm trying something new. What should I grow? What should I do? Like, should I use fertilizer? Should I do this, do that, this, or the third? And he would at least like, oh girl, you know I don't know nothing about that. You need to just bring your ass home. And he would have been like that. He would have been telling me to come home so he could cook me some green beans and my favorite, okra stew. And I would have been able to call him and say, Dad, I want to make this gumbo. Same gumbo I've been making all my goddamn life. I still would call my dad and say, hey, Dad, guess what I'm cooking? And he would be like, oh, I'm making the same thing. For some reason, every Sunday for the last maybe 10 years, for whatever I was cooking, my dad was cooking it also. I would say, I would call him up on Sundays and say, how was your week? And he would say, oh, I'm just, the week was good and this and that and the third. And then he would tell me what he's cooking. I would say, oh, shit, Dad, I'm cooking the same thing. Right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm cooking the same thing. I don't know how we were doing that, but we were. And now I realize that I can't recall him anymore. I can't call my dad. And I'm scared to call my mom even when I'm sad. Because think about this, right? If I'm sad and I don't even haven't seen my dad every day for 20 years. I moved out of Louisiana 20 years ago. My mom has been with my dad since she was 17 years old. And when they got married when she was 19, she's lived with him since 19 until the day he passed away. And so I feel like I don't even have a right to call her to tell her that I miss him. Because I know she misses him. Her and my sister has always been there. I was just to call him once a week daughter, right? Or whenever something happened, he'll call me the birthdays and holidays daughter. You know, the grandkids would call him. But my sister has always been right there. Whatever's happening in their house, my mom, my sister, and my dad. So I feel bad when I want to call because I feel like if I start crying, my mom's gonna cry. As soon as my sister see my mom's crying, my sister's gonna cry. Thank you, Bentley. Okay, let me read what y'all saying. Sending you because thank you, Gemini. STL, how you doing? Carmel said my dad. Wow. Carmela said her dad passed last April. Wow. That's so you're coming up on that anniversary. So I'm gonna give you some hugs also, Carmela. Hey, princess. This shit is hard as hell. Like my dad has always been there, forever. Even if something was going on with my husband, I'll call my dad. You know, or even if I didn't call my dad, I would revert back to my dad. My husband would do some shit, and I would think back, would my dad have done that? You know what I mean? Like, would my dad have done that? How would my dad have handled that? And if my husband, see, the good thing also is if my husband didn't handle it the way my dad would have, then I would have stepped up to the plate and handled shit the way my dad would have handled it. And pretty much when some of the men say, well, you're not a man and you don't know how men work, well, I'm like, I grew up with a man. I grew up with men surrounding me. You know what I mean? It wasn't just my dad, but my dad had lots of brothers. My mom had lots of brothers. So that was men around me all the time. And I watch how they move, you know. And I also, just like I watch how the women move. So if my husband, who did not have his father in his life, if he didn't do something that I thought was, if he didn't know how to do something that I thought was how men would do it, then I actually would step in. Whether it's with the children or whether it's how you handle the neighbors or conflict or whatever. I was able to go in and say, hey, you might want to do it this way, or I wouldn't make it seem like it's my, you know, the way I think it should happen. I would actually just have a conversation with my husband and say, hey, maybe you might want to think about doing it this way. So I would make him think that is, that he came up with the idea. Because my mom also taught me that too, right? Women, we don't control men. We can't brow with them. And a real woman, a real wife is supportive of her husband. And therefore you don't want to make him look small ever. And in order to make sure that he's still standing tall, sometimes you gotta give away that power, right? You actually make him think that he came up with the idea. We don't always have to you know, um, take responsibility for everything that good that's happened. If it's our idea and it's a great idea, you don't always have to stand there. It's not like a competition when you're a family. When you're a family, you do things together. You in this shit together. Hi, Black and Irish. Thank you, Princess. I asked my father 5 years ago, Sonic sandwich, and going through my dad died in pink. He had a heart attack. I remember when I lost my grandmother when I was in clinicals. I cried myself sick for months. I still cry over her. I'm sorry to hear about that, doctor. I, you know, that is a part of life, right? That's why I haven't fallen apart as much, because like I know it's a part of life, and I know that he's moved on, right? That's the way I look at it. I know the way I think of death isn't the way a lot of people think of death. You know what I mean? I know lots of y'all believe in his heaven and that he's up there watching down on me. I don't believe that. I believe that he moved on. His soul isn't a newborn baby, and now he's starting his life over, which most people call it reincarnation. So that's what I believe. So I believe that he had a good life. It was hard, and hopefully this new life uh, will be even better. That's what I believe. You know, I believe he has a chance to grow up once again and be a teenager once again. I mean, think about it. If you go old and die and that's the end, that don't sound like fun. Sounds like to me the end is really the beginning. But yeah, it does make it much better. You know, I agree with you. I know you did tell us that you lost your first love. Wow. You know what I mean? And you lost him at a young age at that, princess. So I know it has to be hard.
you know. And believe it or not, my dad was my first love. He's the first man I ever loved. When I think about love or men, I always thought about my dad. Um, uh, so when people say, well, how did you know your husband was the right man for you? Because my husband, at some point while we were dating, he said some things that reminded me of my dad, which made me know that he was the man for me. You know, so this is the first year. Like Thanksgiving was hard, but we still was mourning anyway. Uh, Christmas was difficult, but we were still mourning. And now I feel like this is for me. This is when I usually reach out to my dad all the time. I would say, Dad, I'm about to grow this. What should I do? You know, and then I would say, well, the seeds isn't really, growing. Do you think they're gonna survive? Should I redo them? And he would tell me, oh, nah, it's probably okay. Give it a little more time. Don't give up. I just did this shit just the other night, and I just want to give up already. Like I feel like I've never done it this way. I feel like if I fail, sometimes I think I mentioned this to someone or in a chat a couple of nights ago. Failure is what most of us are afraid of the most, and it stops us from doing things. And when I was doing this, if it wasn't for me shooting the video and telling you all that I was going to do it, I wouldn't have done it. I bought this shit months ago. You know what I mean? Like I bought this shit months ago. Like, I still got shit over here. Look at this mess over here. I still, look at this shit sitting on my goddamn table. I bought this shit months ago. I still have a lot of this shit sitting around, seeds sitting around. Look, I never even used the gloves. And this shit should have already been growing. Seeds should, I should already see the seedlings and all that. But I've been procrastinating because I keep thinking, if I fail, like, am I going to fail at this shit? This is the second one. I think I told you all I bought 2 of these for $10, which is 72 comments, right? This shit, I should have already have done this shit. And I should have small plants about that tall, already ready to go in the ground as soon as it get warm enough. And I procrastinated. Somebody mentioned my voodoo. Somebody mentioned my voodoo heads under the last video. Oh man. Anyway, failure is almost like, okay, I'm afraid of failing. And I guess I've always been kind of like that to a degree, but I've always had my dad. Like, I could call him and say, Dad, I don't know. Like, is this going to work? Are they dead? He would just say, nah, don't give up. Right? It's going to be okay. He said, he would tell me that they just haven't been in the ground long enough. Or to make sure that they're in a sunny area. Or some plants shouldn't be sun in a sunny area. Some need a little shade. So it depends on the plant, depends on what you're doing, what you're growing, and the time of the year, and shit like that. But I would call him, and he would keep me going. My husband is a little different in that my husband is only gonna do whatever I want him to do. Whatever, he's not gonna push me. If I say, well, I'm gonna give up, he'll say, okay. Like he'll say, it's up to me. You see what I'm saying? My husband, if I tell my husband, hey, stop buying me the goddamn cookies, because, I'm gaining weight on them, he would say, okay. As soon as I look at him the next day and say, did you get me some cookies? He gonna go get me some goddamn cookies. My dad wasn't like that. My dad would have been the type to say, hey, you getting a little chubby, Dad. You eating them cookies. Stop eating them goddamn cookies. And I may have had an attitude against him for calling me fat, but I would have been like, "You're right, Dad." You know what I mean? Like that's sometimes you need those that harshness, that truth. And the only people who you really can accept that from sometimes is your family members. Because you know, if somebody in the street called me fat, I would smack a bitch real quick. But if my dad would have called, "Hey, you getting a little chubby," I would have looked down and said, "Well, I probably would have been hurt a little bit, but I would have realized he was telling me for my health's sake or for whatever. Anybody can't just call you fucking fat and get away with it. Poet, how you doing? Yes, we procrastinate. We just decide not to do it, and then we give up too early. And although it may sound like I'm crying, which I am crying, but I'm missing. I'm not just missing just him because because I can't hear his voice. I'm missing him because he was that I don't know, that person I leaned against, even when I didn't want to lean against him. Sometimes he was leaning against me. I was trying to get away from my dad, and he would lean against me, propping me up without me even realizing. And that, of course, my husband is supposed to replace that, which he has to a degree. But my husband, you know, um, it's a little different when it's somebody who love you a different way, right? When it's somebody who is just trying to make sure that you're okay, and he also want to make you happy. See, my dad didn't give a shit whether he said something to make me happy or not, because all he cared about is making sure that I'm okay. He didn't care if I'm gonna giggle and laugh. He didn't care really if it hurt my feelings, if it was the truth, and that it was gonna make sure that I'm good. My husband, he cares about all that shit. What Minister Jack? Oh, hey, Minister Jack. Oh yeah. Okay, so the title is me saying, I wish I could be Soncerae. I wish I could live in an imaginary world, and act like my act like my life is perfect, and act like my dad is still alive, so I could call him right now and say, "Hey, Dad, how you doing? I'm cooking this. How should I do this? How should I do that? I wish I could." But we don't live in that type of world. Unfortunately, Soncerae, I wish I could be that bitch for one motherfucking day. She right when she says I'm jealous of her. Right at this moment, I'm jealous that my fucking ass isn't crazy enough to think that I could call my dad. Right? If I could right now. My dad's cell phone number is still in my cell phone. I could call it. I wish I could just call it and it just rang and I just act like maybe he's busy. Maybe he's on a goddamn cruise some motherfucking way. You see what I'm saying? If I could just act that way, but the only, I thought about this because I really wanted to just call him. For those of you who have recently, had someone pass away on you, you know how you just want to hear their voice. You want to call it. You want to call the number. Hi, Mika. I want to call him so bad. I want to call him so bad. And just to hear his voice. I want to call him even if he don't answer. But I can't do that because I know my mom still has that cell phone. If my mom did not have that fucking cell phone and I knew that phone was off, I would call that goddamn number. You know what I mean? Like I seriously would call that number. Even though I know he won't answer, it just feel like I just need to be calling him right now for some reason. The problem is I call that number. My mom hear the phone ringing. She would wonder who calling the goddamn number. Then she find out that it's me calling. Anyway. I'm sorry to hear that, TJ. And everybody else who lost someone, whether recently or even, I'm hoping that this gets better through the years. Uh, I I tried to call my mom. I'm glad she didn't answer to an extent, right? I'm glad she didn't answer because if my mom would have answered, I would have had her crying. You going back out?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have had my mom crying, which I don't want to do. They don't call me crying, so I don't feel like I don't think it's right that I call them crying. They used to see him every day. I haven't seen my dad, besides when he was in that casket. Before he was in that casket, I hadn't seen him in like 2 years. Like, seen him in person. Used to write letters, laugh and tell him everything. Oh, and that helped? Wow. Thank you, Black and Irish. Maybe that's what I should do. Write to him, and that might be good. I'm just so used to him answering. You know what I mean? Talking to him, I've never just talked to my dad. My dad was never the type to just listen. In fact, he rarely ever listened. I would just call him, hey dad, hey, I'm growing this. What should I do? And then he would go on, rambling, just telling me everything I need to do, step by step. You know what I mean? And I sometimes I would have a goddamn pen and paper right there, like, what kind of okra, dad? How should I do this? What kind? Where do I buy that? He would say, oh, you ain't gotta buy it. I'm gonna send it to you. You know what I mean? Then at the end of every call, me being an old ass woman married for 20 something years, my dad would say, you need anything? Need any money? You good? You know what I mean? You need anything? You sure? I'd be like, yeah, I'm good, Dad. Every time I visit down home, I'm not lying to you, as a grown ass woman with now grown adults, my dad would come by, see me, and put money in my hand as if I was a kid. Oh, here you go. He would put money in my hand and in my kid's hand. I'm looking at the money like, what's this, Dad? Oh, just go buy you something. Go get you something. Like, Dad, I don't need your money, Dad. I'm good. But I don't know. Like, I think that's just what he thought dads did. You know what I mean? Like, he was one of those dads. Because mom is the one who really raised the kids, right? We already know women are the ones who really do the most with the children. And your dad is the money person. He's the man who goes to work. And he's the one to make sure everybody get what they get, because he provides the money. And even as me as an adult married, my dad, not only did he start giving me, he would put money in my hand, but he would give money to my husband. It was the weirdest shit ever. Me and my husband would crack up laughing. It's almost like, I remember the first time he did it to my husband. My husband came and said, look what your dad gave me. I was like, what? My dad had given me like $100. Right? He gave me $50 and gave my husband a whole fucking $100. I was like, wait a minute. I wanted to know why the hell my husband got to get more money than me. Right? I never asked him, but my husband felt kind of weird that my dad gave him money like that. And he wouldn't take it back neither. Well, you're running in and out of my house, boy. I'm gonna kick your ass up out of here. Oh. My son keep going in and out the goddamn door. Anyway, do you have any same phone messages? Nope, my dad didn't know nothing about no cell phones. Um, my dad, he had a flip phone. You know, like we couldn't never get him to get what they call them? Shit, y'all know what I'm talking about. The phones these days, what we call them, smartphones. My dad had this little ass flip phone with these big ass numbers on it. And he never set up voicemail. He never left voicemails. I don't have none of that shit. You go?
Yeah.
Okay. Now my husband, he's lucky. Cause see, my husband's father, before he passed away, which was the year before my dad passed away, actually. Um, I have voicemails over there on that thing over there. See that thing blinking? That we got one of them old time for my house phone. See that? It says it's full. About 10 of those voicemails on there is my husband's dad calling for me. He used to call me and ask me to do things for him. So we've never deleted. I think his dad been dead 2 years, 3 years now. So my husband has voicemails, not only on that, but on my cell phone and his cell phone. I don't have none of that. In fact, I don't have my dad's voice. I'm gonna have to check. Yeah, my dad has never left a voicemail. Yeah, one of them big old numbers, one of them big ass phones. I wonder if I need to check, because that would be nice to hear his voice, you know. But I'm gonna be honest, no. My dad didn't know how to even leave a voicemail. I think like if nobody answered, he would just click his phone, click, close that shit up, and wait for you to call him back. A picture? Yeah, cause you know when I saw him in that casket, my dad did not look like him. Mentally, in my mind, I kept saying, this is not really my dad. You know what I mean? Like, I kept saying, even though I knew, it was almost like a break from reality. I kept saying, this is not my dad. Because he didn't look like my dad. But, and then when I hugged him, he was so cold. I never felt my dad being that cold ever. I'm hugging him. It was weird about this shit. The only reason I held it up so well is because I called my dad a month before he passed, and I told him, Dad, I dreamed you died. What's going on? I asked him to go to the doctors. I said, Dad, you need to go to the doctor. I dreamed you died. I called him. He didn't answer. He called me. I was at the doctor's office. When I noticed I missed his call, I called him back, and we had a long conversation. I said, because as soon as I woke up from the dream, I called him. I said, Dad, hey, are you okay? He was like, why? I said, I dreamed you died, right? When by the time we got in contact, I told him my dream he died. And instead of him, telling me it's going to be okay, he never told me he wasn't going to die. What he told me was that he lived a great life and that everybody dies. And he sounded so bad, right? And all I wanted to hear him say was that, no, I'm not going to die. And he told me no. Everybody dies. It's okay. I lived a great life. And blah, 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 blah. And we just talked for a while. All I wanted to hear him say was he going to be okay. But that's not what he said. And I felt like, then when I told my mom, I told my mom, I said, Mom, I called him. I tried to get him to go to the doctor. They damn near blamed me because apparently, I guess when I called to tell him about the dream, that mean I put it out in the world for him to die. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? And you didn't tell him, eat tea, even if you would have told someone, it really wouldn't have mattered. You know what I mean? So don't regret that. Do not regret it. The only thing, uh, in fact, I don't regret making that phone call because I normally call him on a Sunday or a Saturday. And this, I think it was maybe like a Tuesday or Wednesday. So, and we had a long talk. We had a long talk about it. Uh, and if I hadn't had that dream, I wouldn't have called him. And if I hadn't called him and talked about debt and how he felt about his life and how great it was, and he just comforted me, even though he didn't tell me he was gonna be okay. He didn't lie to me, and he just told me it's a part of life. So I kept that in my head, at the funeral and during that time. I kept saying my dad told me this was gonna happen, and he told me that he lived a great life, which he did. My dad had done all kinds of shit, right? And he told us how much he loved us, and how much he loved my mom. Like, he was telling me shit my dad had never ever really had that type of conversation with me before. Not that type. He started talking about how he met my mom, and how he has always loved her, and how life was great even when it was hard, and he wouldn't take it back, and all this great shit. That's what I rely on today, like knowing that I had that conversation with him, and he didn't have regrets of having us. You know what I mean? And he was proud of us, even proud of my goddamn drug addict ass brother to an extent. Like, he even talked about my brother. How he know it's hard for him and he hoped that he get better and shit like that. Um, yeah, my mom and dad were married, but my mom family were racist to my dad, an interracial couple have a baby. I have my mom family to this day. I'm sorry to hear about that, Black and Irish. Just know that you are a blessed child. You know what I'm saying? Because you was created out of love, and you don't have nothing to be ashamed about. And don't be angry at the racist side of the family. You know what I mean? Like, just know that it's ignorance, and just know that it's ignorance. It's something they don't know, something they didn't know. You know what I mean? You, but you do. You say you do have your mom family. You just I don't. Hey, grumpy old man, how you doing? They don't always say it with words. Pay attention to the little strange things. That's usually them. You're right about that. Uh, oh my fucking god! I need to post the videos of all the orbs I caught on video around. Yeah, you need to. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes there's little signs and little shit. So I listen. I'm a little afraid that my garden not gonna spring up and shit. I'm procrastinating about it, but I need to get off my ass and do what I say I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be honest with you. That shit wouldn't be over there if it wasn't for me telling you all that I was gonna do it. Me and my husband went out and bought this shit 2-3 months ago, right? We bought the lamps. We bought the different things for me to create the lights. I went and did some research on YouTube. I went around. We went to Walmart and to Home Depot. You know what I'm saying? And bought some shit. And then that shit sat over there. We bought them LED lights. And I really did, even before. My husband is very supportive of any fucking thing I want to do. Like, I'm not, if I want to burn down that wall and say, hey, let's go buy the shit at the lumber yard and we're going to rebuild that wall right there. My fucking husband would probably look at me like I'm crazy. But after I said, baby, we could do it. Let's do it. He would say, okay. My fucking husband, now he might try to come up with some ways of stopping me from actually burning down the wall. But let's not go so drastic, right? Let's say I want to take a new couch and I say, let's go buy all this goddamn material and I'm gonna repost this shit, even though I've never reposted not a fucking thing in my life. My husband will allow me to go buy all that repostering goddamn material, and then he will watch me tear this couch apart and try to repost this shit myself. And then, no matter how it turns out, he's gonna be very supportive. He'll be very supportive. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how he is. He loves me as long as it's not life, you know, life threatening and shit like that. As long as I'm not about to kill nobody and shit like that. It's awesome, but it's also, you know, I already know that to a degree that certain things I can't depend on from him. You know, I can't depend on him to be stern to say something like, now you might not want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's almost like my dad would have been like, something wrong with you? Are you crazy? Like, why? What? And my husband, he would say the same thing, but I could smile at him and, you know, and give him a little wink here, kiss here and there and shit. And then he'd be like, come on, let's go burn down that wall, baby. You know what I mean? I take him upstairs to the bedroom, and by the time I'm done, we'll come down. He said, come on, where we gonna burn it down first? What part of this wall we gonna burn down first? uh, yeah, that's true, Ari. You know what I mean? Like, he knows that I'm not gonna do nothing real stupid. Like burning the wall down. He knows, my husband knows I would never do no shit like that. But I will talk about painting some shit, and then our house will be all mixed matching color and shit. Cause he knows also, just like I know, I don't finish shit. You know how you start projects and shit, and then you don't finish them? I do that a lot. I've been doing that, you know what I mean, since my dad hasn't been there. Now, when I call my dad, like I be wanting to give up. I just planted this shit 2 days ago. I already want to give up. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh my God. I don't see no seeds growing. I'm like, maybe I put them in too deep. Maybe they not deep enough. Maybe they gonna die on me. Yeah, am I gonna fail at this? Maybe I need to call my dad. And if I would call my dad would be like, damn, it's only been 2 days. Don't germination take like 10 to 15 days on some of them? And he would say that. And then I was like, oh yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I don't know what it is about the failure, the procrastination. My dad used to be the person to say, he would call. Did you go? Did you do this? Did you say you were going to do it? Did you do it? I'd be like, I bought everything. He'd be like, well, go and do it. And I would go and do it. My husband saw this shit sitting on that goddamn couch over there for like 2 months. He ain't say shit. My husband should have been like, I thought you was going to start these seeds. That's what he was. My husband gonna have to step it up. But I can't expect my husband to be my dad though. I planted sweet peas and the birds kept. Wait. And the birds keep biting off the tops when they germinate. Oh, okay. Yeah, sweet peas are sweet, and so they will eat your shit. I didn't know you got glow lights. Yeah, I did. I put up a video. Um, it's really just right. I bought two of them. The other one's upstairs. It's just this little thing right here, right? And then you get an LDE light, right? And the LDE light has to be a certain looms, and they have to be a certain kelvins in order to uh, look like it's sunlight. So this light is capable of actually looking like, yeah, those are Jiffy Pops. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I put the video up on this channel. Just when I put it up yesterday. Yeah, y'all check it out. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this is just 72 plants. And I think there's only three. What seeds? How many seeds? One, that's my peppers and cabbage, tomatoes, and watermelon. But I have a lot others, right? I have to do the carrots and the cabbage. Wait, do I do cabbage? Yeah, I did cabbage. I have my basil and things like that to do, which doesn't take long to germinate. But see, like I feel like these things are failing, and it's only been 2 days. I just feel like I want to give up. Look like a seed. Is that a seed? That's not. Yeah, that is a seed. That might be a seed that fell in there. Let me just cover that up a little bit. See that? See that seed right there? Where is that? See that? I think that's a seed. It might be a seed. Might not be a seed. Just cover it up a little bit. Get it under there. That might not be deep enough. Put it a little deeper. Okay. Hell yeah. This is what because I'm doing it indoors. Like if I was doing it outdoors, I wouldn't have used these. Right? And my dad would have never told me to use this shit. My dad would have told me to go out there and get some goddamn dirt. Be patient, Miss Green. You know what I mean? So I've grown many gardens before, but I've never grown them without the help of my father, right? And I guess when I say help, I would be able to call him, tell him what it looked like, say, hey, these peppers look this way. The leaves are a little yellow. And he would say, oh, that's the way they're supposed to do. If they're yellow, that means it's time they're ripe. Right? He would tell me shit like that. He would say, if they're yellow, they're ripe. Or, if, he would just tell me things. I guess now I'm going to have to do my own goddamn research. Or just rely on what he's already taught me. I mean, we've been growing shit forever. Since I was a young girl. I'm just so used to calling him and asking him questions. Just because he's my dad. Like, I felt like it was necessary sometimes just for me to call him and just to ask him a question so he could feel like the dad the great man and the dad that he's always been. Right? So, yeah. And I miss him so much. I miss him so much. The first man I ever loved, ever. My dad didn't know how to do hair. Sent me to school one time. I don't even know. I think my mom must have was pregnant with my brother. No, couldn't have been. Because my brother is not that younger than I am. I don't know. I might ask my mom why my dad had to do my hair so I can go to school one morning. But from my understanding, my dad was trying to do my damn hair and sent me to school. You know what I mean? My mom laughed about it so much, she told me the story about it. The cats ate my God damn. Y'all got dogs and cats and birds and shit eating y'all goddamn thing. He said the chihuahua just side-eyed me. Oh my God. Who killed the cactus? Oh, what? How you killed the cactus, though? Wait a minute. Cactuses can grow in the desert with no goddamn water for years. How you kill a cactus? There's a couple of plants that will grow no matter what. And that is a cactus and aloe vera is kind of hard to kill too. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, because I want a piece of the cactus we had. It was so beautiful. Hell yeah. Gemini says she there with black thumb. Listen, we gonna turn your black thumb into a green thumb. You all are the ones who gonna help me get through this shit. We gonna get through this type of shit together, right? Y'all gonna keep me on track because I know I'm gonna have to show a video of this shit in at least a couple of weeks, right? And that's gonna keep me on track. Make sure. Otherwise, if I hadn't put up that video, I'm gonna be honest, I would have. Yeah, this shit was just. I have seeds from over there that my dad gave me 2 years ago. I never put in the dirt. He was still alive. I procrastinated that year. Um, I don't know why I didn't grow anything that year, but I know I wanted to do sugar cane. I wanted to try to see if I can grow sugar cane. So he gave me a piece of sugar cane and told me how to get it to grow roots from a piece. And I told him I was going to try to see if I can grow it, right? So I have actually a big ass yard. My yard is big, right? There's a lot of trees and shit, but that's our land back there. I was gonna see if my husband could clear some of that shit out before them goddamn grass start growing, right? Cause now it's real clear, but soon as the grass start growing, it's gonna look like it's gonna get too tall. So this year, I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna grow a garden back there. Hell yes, I am. Hopefully, goddamn deers and shit don't come eating up my shit though. Plus, I was gonna do some things in containers so you all, even if you have a balcony or just a small little patio, you could still grow shit. You could grow, snap beans. It depends on what you use. My grandfather and dad had a green thumb, but I wasn't blessed with that. Yeah, my dad could grow anything. Even when he passed away, we went in the yard. He had the pole beans growing, some bell peppers. I wanted some leaves off that goddamn bay leaf tree. We got a bay leaf tree in the yard. Now I cook with bay leaves. Um, so we had an orange tree and a bay leaf tree. And they was thinking about cutting that goddamn bay leaf tree down, which I don't understand. Because bay leaf is really good. Okay, you take the bay leaves, and if you got a coal, you seep them and boil them and make a tea out of them. The tea is actually good. And also I cook with bay leaf. You dry them when you want to cook with them. Or you could cook with them even when they're fresh. Yeah, they come and they smell so good. We grew up with that bay leaf tree right there. Right out like we used to go out the back door and pick bay leaves off the goddamn tree. Right? I did not know that was a bay leaf tree when I was growing up. I always knew it was a tea tree. I just, and you know that you could cook with and things like that, but I didn't know it was bay leaf until my dad told me. He'd be like, oh, because I used to ask him, like, I've never seen bay leaf. I've never seen my dad purchase bay leaves before. Here, I got to go to the store and buy bay leaves. And I asked him, I said, Dad, where you get these bay leaves from? He said, oh, that's a bay leaf tree in the back. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Lilac bushes, I still love the smell. Oh, yeah, they smell good. My dad, listen, don't tell nobody, okay? But my dad used to have a bay leaf tree and a big ass marijuana tree. My dad had a big ass marijuana tree growing as well. God damn it. Okay? That's why I don't know what marijuana looked like. And the way it looked today is not what it used to look like when he used to. Because he used to take this shit. And I watched my dad do some weird things to dry out the leaves. I watched him put it in the oven. He used to sit it on top of our roof of the house. I was a kid, right? And I don't. But this shit that I see today, it looked like plants, and then it got looked like it got. I don't even know what that is. My dad used to listen. My dad was a. I call him like the David Crockett. He was like a black David Crockett. You know what I mean? Like he built our house. We watched my dad build our house with his own two hands, with no help from nobody. Our house went from being a shotgun house to a 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath. Huge ass kitchen. Kitchen was bigger than this goddamn whole area right here. Right? Kitchen was huge. It went from being a shotgun house, which a shotgun house, those of you might not know what that shotgun house is. A shotgun house is a straight through house. You got to walk from one room to get to the next room and to the next room. So say the bathroom is all the way in the back of the house. You walk through everybody's room, kitchen and all, just to get to the bathroom. That's a shotgun house. Okay, so there's nobody ever have privacy because just to get to the kitchen, you got to walk through. Sometimes you have to walk through two people's bedrooms just to get to the kitchen. Well, that's how that house used to be when we first moved there. Used to be a room, which used to be my nana's living room area. Then the second room was her bedroom, and then in the back of that was the kitchen. And the bathroom was outside. Remember I told y'all I grew up with outhouses. So by the time we moved from the city of New Orleans into this area, we ended up moving into one of my nana's houses. You know, and it was a 3 room shotgun house. After we moved there, my daddy started building on it, and he ended up building it the way we wanted it. I remember telling him, "Oh, Dad, can we be able to step down out of one room into another room?" And he built it just like that, just because I asked him. So you step the first room that used to be my nana's living room became the kitchen, and he built off of that was the living room. So you step down into the living room area, but then you step back up into the hallway, and then it was my bedroom, my brother's bedroom, what used to be my nana's bedroom became my dad's and mom's bedroom, and what used to be the kitchen became this huge ass bathroom slash laundry room. Okay, when my dad first put bathroom in the house, that's the first thing he did was put indoor plumbing in that house. But in the beginning, right? Shit, in the beginning, we had to go to we would use outhouse. You either use the bucket or you had to go to the outhouse. Now the good thing about my nana's outhouse though, it was outdoors, but it was nice, and it looked like a bathroom. You just had to go outside to get to it. My grandmother's outhouse wasn't so nice. My grandmother lived right down the street from where we moved to. My grandmother's outhouse was some shack ass shit that looked like if you went in it, looked like it was gonna fall down on your ass. I have a picture of the outhouse we used to have. I wish I had a picture of the one my grandmother used to have though. Indoor plumbing was one of the best. Hell yeah, girl, that's the best. Cause let me tell you, the good thing about being down south, it never really got cold like that. But let me tell you something about those outhouses. I learned this from my grandmother's outhouse. If you look down in that toilet, I remember seeing some fucking snakes. Like I was a little girl, right? And my grandmother used to make us use that outhouse if it was daylight. Shit. I would go in the woods. Look, that's why going into the military was easy for me. Because I would rather go in the woods and take a number 2 in the goddamn woods than to go in that goddamn outhouse. I, y'all, I can't even tell y'all how weird this shit was. I grew up listen, we didn't even live there then. We used to live in the city in a nice house. We had indoor plumbing. But my mom and my goddamn dad would always bring us to my grandmother's home. And if we went to this on the weekends, I look at it now, I realize my parents were young, right? My mom was 19 when she had me. My dad was about, I'm going to think, maybe 21, 22. So, of course, on weekends, they had their parents who would willingly take the grandkids, right? I look at it now and see it that way, but when I was a kid, I didn't see it that way. I used to see, why are you leaving me here? And I would be crying my ass off, especially when she left me by my dad's parents. Because that's where the outhouse was. Shit. And my grandmother, if it was daylight, she would make us go in that outhouse. And one time, I looked down in the toilet area, and I swear to God, I saw snakes. I'm not even gonna lie. Come to find out, they call them chicken snakes. Cause I asked, I was like, "Oh shit, there's snakes in there, Granny." And she's like, "Yeah, those are just chicken snakes." The hell is a chicken snake? The fuck is it? I don't care what kind of snake it is. I'm sitting my booty right on top of them goddamn snakes. I can't do it, Granny. I love being from the South. Best food in the world. Sunday dinner after church would be like, you're right about that, Black and Irish. Being from the South is a great thing. Especially but you got to understand, some of us have culture, right? Our families do things a certain way, which is still like that in the South. Still, a lot of families have Sunday dinners. Up north, I don't see that too much, right? So we still believe in Sunday dinners. We still believe like you go to church and then after Sunday at church you go home and somebody's cooking dinner. Um, my family still get together on Sundays. Like all my uncles and aunts, they get together. I've never been in our house before. Has been in a honey bucket. That's what I guess is like our house. What's a honey bucket? A honey bucket, is that like a bucket where they put like a seat on it so you can sit on it and use it? Is that what? I need to look that up. I don't have my computer nearby. Let me see. We had that in Indiana too. I wish we still had that. I used to do it when I had my nieces on weekends. No, that's right. Because let me tell you, our house in a honey bucket, one sounds real cute, right? I would rather go sit in a honey bucket than to go in a goddamn outhouse in a minute, goddamn it. A honey bucket sounds like something you could, it's so honey and sweet and shit, right? You could put it right in your room and just use it. And then at the end of the night or the day, you just throw it out. My grandmother used to allow us to use the bathroom indoors on a bucket. And let me tell you, she ain't put no seat on that shit neither. You just had to sit on that hard ass bucket and you know, one of them big ass buckets. My grandmother used to put us on that. How you doing, Cynthia? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it does sound better, man. Let me see. She would, wow, she would get her some goddamn rabbits, huh? Making some rabbit soup. Look, the good thing about us Southerners, we could cook any goddamn thing. My dad he would go to the back and kill the bunny rabbits and come home and cook it. And although I'm gonna be honest, I ain't eat no rabbit. I just had something, you know what I mean? Like I felt sorry for the little rabbits. But I can't lie. When I walk in the house, if I didn't know he had cooked rabbit, I would say, "Ooh, something smell good," you know. And I'm getting ready to get me a plate, and he'd be like, "Oh, you don't want that? That's rabbit." Be like, "Oh, damn." My dad used to have people eating shit they didn't know what it was. People who would come home to my house from school. I tried to warn them. I would warn everybody. I'd be like, "Look, girl, my dad home." I said, "I ain't gonna lie to you. My dad is a cook." I said, "I'm gonna just warn you. You better ask him what you're eating." I used to warn him. I'm not even lying. I used to warn everybody. You know, when you're a teenager and you didn't want your friends to go back to school and tell everybody that they ended up eating some bullshit, you know, that they didn't really want to eat. So I used to warn them. I used to say, hey, you know, when we about to go in my house, I would see that my dad was home, and I could smell the food. You could smell whatever he cooked. It didn't matter what that man cooked. You could smell it. It would smell so goddamn good, right? And I would warn him. I say, hey, because my dad was the type, you know how they are, Southerners. They offer everybody a plate, okay? If you told my dad something smelled good, he's about to offer you a plate. Okay? He is going to offer you a plate. He gonna say, oh yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I'll fix your plate. I got you. You know what I mean? So my friends would walk in the house and they'd be like, hey, Mr. Manuel, so smell good in here. He'd be like, oh yeah, one plate? I got you. They'd be like, sure. And I'm looking at my friends trying to tell them with my eyes. Girl, ask him what it is. With my eyes, I'm looking at him trying to tell him, ask him what it is. Girl, ask him what it is. They'd be like, Mr. Manuel, it sure smell good. And he'd be like, yeah, you gonna like this. And then he would put them in front of them and they would be eating their asses off. Just eating, 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 eating. Next thing you know, he would say some shit like, you ever ate rabbit or you ever ate, like whatever he cooked. It didn't matter if it was turtle, didn't matter if it was rabbit, deer meat. It didn't matter. This man used to go and kill squirrels and birds, all kinds of shit. Owls. I remember when he tried, for 2 years, my dad tried to kill an owl. Couldn't get that owl, right? Now, owls are supposed to be overseers. But I don't know how he ended up getting that out. For some reason, he wanted to kill an owl because the fucking owl kept being in our yard overseeing shit. Making all kinds of fucking noise during the middle of the night. Alligators, all kinds of shit. My dad had ended up, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but I know it was something I didn't eat. Like, I don't eat squirrels and shit like that. My friends come over, Mr. Man, you smell good, and I'm like trying to warn them, because I don't want them to go back to school and tell people that they done ate some goddamn shit at my house that they didn't want to eat. Anyway, they sitting there tearing that shit up. Tearing it up. And then suddenly my dad, like they would ask him, this is so good. I never had this before. What is this, Mr. Manuel? Oh, that's just some squirrel, babe. What? They would look like, what? See, I tried to tell you. And they'd be like, I never had squirrel, Mr. Manuel, before, but this shit is sure good. They wouldn't say shit, you know. This sure is good. Lord have mercy. I'm going to tell you, princess, nobody, listen, if I showed y'all a video of my dad's funeral, right, there had to have been 20 people who got up there and either had a speech or sung, right? Over 20 people. This church was packed because of my dad. And let me tell you what everybody said about him. His food. Everybody had something to say about my dad's food. Right? They would say even if he didn't show up, like let's say something was going on in the family. My dad wasn't the type to hang around the family, but he would make whatever they wanted him to make. He would make a pot of gumbo. His red beans and rice was the best thing in the whole goddamn parish. People was talking about my dad red beans and rice for fucking ever. I'm still trying to figure out how to make his red beans and rice. Okay? Because the way he would cook them, the way he would cook them. Now, he did tell me what the specialty is in it. I can't share it. I'm going to just tell you, if you ate my dad red beans and rice, shit. Popeyes couldn't touch this shit. Okay? And so during the funeral, everybody who got up there mentioned his food. He wouldn't attend anything. He didn't never go to nobody's graduations. He didn't never go to nobody's weddings. My dad was not that person. People hadn't seen my dad in years because he don't do, but his food would show up. And that's what you would hear people say. They would say, well, man, he wasn't the type to come and hang around people, but he sure would send his food, and his food would represent him well. That's what they would say. His food represented him well. Let me see what you said. Old Black Bomb has me using that Old Bay. Hell yeah, Old Bay, believe it or not, is Cajun seasoning. People be buying Cajun seasoning and using Old Bay, and I'm like, Old Bay is Cajun seasoning. Put that shit in there, man. That's all you need. Let me see. I love to learn Southern red beans and rice. I say mine too far is pretty good though. I love the experiment. I think I have a video of red beans and rice on my channel. I have all kinds of food over there. I know some of y'all haven't seen it because there's a lot of videos. Y'all usually just do the live streams, but I showed y'all how to do red beans and rice in a crock pot, in a slow cooker. I don't think I shot a video of me doing them without the slow cooker, but it's real simple. But yeah, yeah, check it out. I got the fried chicken, stewed chicken, all kinds of shit over there. My dad, hell yeah, his food. I miss his food. When I would go home, he would say, "What you want while you're here?" And that was only normally I would always ask him for okra stew, right? Okra stew is like a gumbo without the liquid. You use the same ingredients pretty much. The sausage and the shrimp and the crab and the okra. And it goes on top of rice. But there's no liquid. You're not making like a soup. That shit is so good. So he would make that for me. Okay. And what else? The gumbo, I got that down packed, so I wouldn't ask him for that. And if I asked him, let's do a crawfish boil. So crawfish boil, hell yeah. And if it was crawfish season, we would do a crawfish boil. Or let's just call it a seafood boil. Because it wouldn't just be crawfish, it would be shrimp, crabs, and crawfish. I always put meat in my red beans and rice. Hell yeah, that's what you do. That's the only way to do red beans and rice. We make spaghetti and meatballs. You use sausage. Sausage in, you're right. Let me tell you what else. If you use chicken, it's called, God damn it. You can tell when my head starts hurting, I can't think straight. Chicken, come on. God damn it. Can't think straight. You could do spaghetti all kinds of ways. Sausage, it's called something else when you use sausage. It's called something else when you use chicken. It's called something else. They give it different names depending on what meat you use in it. Okay. How about fried tuna patties? Patties, you talking about tuna, the fish tuna? Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about are you talking about something similar to like crab meat? Like a crab? Yeah, Louisiana has the best food. Don't use flour, use bread, wheat bread. Oh, okay, you talking about, so you talking about salmon, the fish. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we don't do red beans and rice without meat. Some kind of meat. Even if you don't use meat, right? You have to at least put a bone in it. And I've never seen a soup bone living up north, but down south, they call it pickled meat or soup bone, right? So it's this little piece of meat with a bone, this round bone in it. It's usually called pickled meat, right? And man, I don't know even what to call it up here. don't even like. I don't know how to go to the butcher and say, "Can I get some pickled meat?" Because I don't know if they know what that is. But down south, you could go right in the grocery store and get you some pickled meat. It actually says on the package, pickled meat. Croquettes. Oh, is that what? Oh, okay, yeah. So that's croquette is similar to like um here in Maryland, they call it crab cakes, like kind of thing. Well, yeah, all those southern states, they have adapted different foods, especially after Katrina. After Katrina, when people moved all over the place, like Louisiana people ended up moving to Georgia and Alabama and Arkansas, and especially Texas, especially Houston. A lot of black people from right there in New Orleans ended up on. They tried to claim that those people ruined their area, which is, you got to realize, you got a group of niggas who used to ruin, being running their town, moving into a whole nother town where other niggas like don't like new people coming. You know what I'm saying? So I could just imagine how that shit worked out. I could imagine how that shit worked out. Then we had some dumb fools come up to Philadelphia from the Katrina shit. They followed this black female around, y'all. So you used to could go somewhere and a lot of companies was giving a lot of money to those people who were misplaced. That's what they call them, misplaced uh, people. Um, so they gave this woman, she went to go pick up her money. Then this dumb, ratchet ass bitch was bragging about this money and what she was going to do. And so they followed her to the fucking mall when she bought a purse with the $1,200. These people gave her like something like $1,400. This bitch went and bought like a $1,200 purse with the $1,400. That is what gave us a bad fucking name. I wanted to go whip her ass and whoever followed her. I'm like, oh my God. Why would you get that money like that and go and allow people to follow you, go and get a goddamn purse? I did a spin-off of my boiled cabbage into a cabbage stew with what you put. Oh, so you put other veggies in it? Now that sounds good, but I don't understand the boiled cabbage. I don't know what that is. What that's about. When you say you boiled some cabbage, girl, you got me a little afraid. I'm a little worried about that part, but it's okay though. Maybe that's just what y'all call it. I've never heard of boiled cabbage before. Cabbage actually makes its own juices, so you should never put no water in no cabbage, right? So what we do in the South is we either make stewed cabbage or we make fried cabbage. I cannot find a video of anybody on YouTube who are actually making fried cabbage. Although they're claiming they're making fried cabbage, they aren't. They're actually just making stewed cabbage. Also, what I can't find, if you look on YouTube and look up candied yams, right, where people claiming they're making candied yams, they're lying. They aren't making candied yams. They're simply making yams. There's a difference between yams and candied yams, right? Candied yams, the yams need to candy. What does candy do? Candy gets hard. It actually gets hard. These people are making simple yams and calling them candied yams. And it's not their fault. It's whoever taught them how to cook. It's their fucking fault. Okay? Candied yams, you slice them into small, thin, almost like potato chips, right? They not that thin, but they you slice them like that, and then you put them in the sugar and and the butter, and you put them in there, and you want them to candy. Those are called candy yams. Anything other than that is just some fucking sweet potatoes. or sweet yams. People confuse yams with sweet potatoes. You can use them. You can use them similar, right? But yeah, but I be looking at the goddamn what you call. What about fried cabbage and onions and see? Yeah, see now that's fried cabbage. But you gotta, in order to fry cabbage, if you gonna call something fried cabbage, right? People gotta fry them. They not frying their cabbage. They actually just stewing them. Cabbage produces water. So you gotta, in order to fry cabbage, you gotta do it a certain way. You literally have to put it in oil and fry them. Then you let the oil, you take the oil on, and then you start putting your seasoned meat and all that stuff in it, your seasoning in it, and that's fried cabbage, right? Stewed cabbage, you just put the cabbage in the pot with your seasoning and your meat. It develops its own water, and then you throw that shit with some potatoes in it and everything, and put that shit on top of rice. You good to go. Bam. Hell yeah, that's the best way to do it, princess. That's why when I make my videos, I try to tell people it's about your taste and how you like things. Because even though I'm from Louisiana, I don't like spicy food, right? Which is weird because a lot of our shit is spices. I do like I like food with flavor. So there's a difference between food with flavor and spicy. So I I would have my food having a little bang to it where you when you taste it you be like, damn. But it won't burn your tongue or anything. Right? But then the only thing I like spicy is my seafood. I'm okay with my any of my seafood. I'm okay with it being spicy. You know, my mouth be on fire. God damn it! But I will eat that shit, man. My nose be running and everything. But I'm not gonna eat no red beans and rice that have that all that spice. The red beans and rice from Popeyes is the spiciest I will eat my red beans and rice. And that's not even really spicy. That's like a bang, like a little boop, you know. Corned beef hash. Oh, my dad would cook some corned beef hash. He put that in the cabbage. He put his corned beef hash in cabbage. That's another way of making your cabbage. I need to call the chili my mom used to make sometimes because it looks nothing like regular chili. So it's like a stew. Yeah. Have you guys ever heard of Triforce? It's cow intestines. Um, we call cow intestines is called God damn it, trife. Yeah, that's what it's called, trife. Um, East side, but my dad never ate it. I need to eat like the South America. Yeah, so cow intestines is called trife. And what pig intestines is called chitlins, right? Is that beef and which one is chitlins? Chitlins is beef, and cow is trife. I yeah, it's like chitlins, but it's trife though. I didn't know that. Is that the full name? What you called it? You gave it a name I never heard of before. Let me see. You gave it the full name. Triforce. Is that how you call it? I'm going to have to look it up. I don't know the complete name, but yeah, we would call it trife. I don't eat chitlins, and I don't eat no trife neither. Now, let me do so that my husband do eat that shit, and I think I already told y'all why I don't eat. Because the first time, and I don't even think it's the first time, but the first time I was young enough, but old enough to walk into my great grandmother's house. We had visited California. I was young, right? This wasn't when we moved there. This is one of them years we visited California. And my great grandmother, we walked into my great grandmother's house, and she was cooking something. And the whole house smelled like shit. Like, what is that smell? Almost like you walked into Soncerae's area. You know what I mean? But worse. And we sitting there. I could tell you how long ago this was. when my grandmother was cooking that shit, it was the day that Vanessa Williams became the first black Miss America or Miss USA, whatever she became. We watched that shit that day in my great grandmother's house on the day when she was cooking them shitty ass goddamn chitlins. I'll never forget it ever because number one, it was the first time a black woman became whatever she became, first USA, Miss USA, or whatever she was. And I'll never forget it because of them that shitty ass house. So we walk in the house, it smelled like pure shit. And I'm like, can I go outside? I didn't even know what was going on. Like, what is that smell? My great grandmother said, oh, baby, no, that's that chitlins. My chitlins, they cooking good. I was like, what? I said, that's food? Yeah, baby, you gonna like them. Mm-mm. So she cook them up. We go into the kitchen, and I'm like, what else you got, grandmother? So she had some, that was my great grandmother. My grandmother was there too, right? And my mom. So, with a few aunts and uncles and shit. And like I said, and shit, right? So all I ended up eating, because y'all know down south, even though we was in California, my people's from down south, they have chitlins comes with cornbread and usually like some greens, whether it's collard greens or mustard greens or turnip greens, it don't even matter. So they had some chitlins, some greens, and cornbread. And all I wanted was the cornbread. Because I didn't even want to trust my grandmother's greens. I'm thinking she got shitty food in her shitty house. Must mean her hands is shitty. And the only thing I was able to inspect correctly was the goddamn cornbread. Everything else I did not trust. I didn't trust nothing else. I'm not trusting nothing else. Nothing. You understand? I never eat from my great grandmother since that. When I would go over, we would have to eat before we got there. We would go to Jack in the Box or some shit like that. That's how I know Jack in the Box. They used to have a Jack in the Box. But I'm not eating from my great grandmother. Because as far as I'm concerned, she was shitty. And I always wondered, how is it that my grandmother, my dad's mom, my dad, and other people in my family, how is it that they can cook chitlins and you never know? Like, I never smelled chitlins ever since that, and I never smelled them before that. So my dad told me that I used to eat chitlins and I used to like them. I said, there's no way, Dad. I said, Dad, this must be some different chitlins because her house smelled like poop. And he said, nah, it just meant she didn't know how to clean them. I said, she didn't know how to clean them. I said, wait a minute, you cook chitlins? He told me I had been eating chitlins since I was a little girl. I kept arguing with him, telling him there's no way, Dad. I said these had to have been different chitlins. I was like, I said, there's no way. I said, I've never smelled our house smelling like this. And he did say it's all about the way you clean them. But he right. But I ain't messing with them. Okay, I'm afraid. My grandmother even taught me how to clean them, right? There's a membrane that's on them that you're supposed to wipe off. You're supposed to take that shit off. It looked so tedious. And then I couldn't determine which part was the shitty part, which part was the good part. Suppose I end up cooking the shitty part. Listen, I said I'm just not gonna mess with them. But my husband loved chitlins. When my mother-in-law make them, because she's the only one who will make them for him, it's her. Her house don't smell shitty neither, but she buy them pre-cleaned already. I ain't buying that shit, okay? If they smell shit, don't eat them. I know that's right. My grandmother was like, this is the way they the best. Like, the best what? She said they taste better. Let me tell y'all something, though. I have heard that from them old people. Remember, this was my great-grandmother. This wasn't my grandmother. Them older people really believe that if all that shit that's in there, that makes them taste better. Y'all do know that they grow our food with manure and all that good old shit. That's where the nutrients are. Do we even understand fruits and vegetables and where the nutrients come from? I couldn't believe it my goddamn self. People talk about, I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. You find out, wait a minute. So when you do the research and you find out that vegetables get their nutrients from the dirt, and the dirt gets its nutrients from their manure. They actually mix shit that even if it's your shit. If you eat rice, after I went to Korea and I found out rice, and y'all don't be washing your rice neither. I tell people, you supposed to wash your rice. Wash that goddamn rice. On a bag of rice, it says, do not wash. I'm not even lying. Look at your bag of rice. It says, do not wash. Because when you wash them, you washing the nutrients away. The problem is, in Korea, where most of our rice come from, them people don't have indoor plumbing. So what they do, they got rice paddies. Rice paddies is where they grow rice. So the people live in these little huts and scuts and little buildings at the top of the hill. And so when they wake up in the morning, they use the bathroom in a bucket. And then they throw that shit rolling down the hill and it goes right into the rice paddies. That's where the rice has nutrients from shit. Straight up like that, I'm not lying. that they have the best rice come out of Korea. I'm telling y'all, I'm not lying. Rice paddies is nothing but a shitty field. Everybody in Korea, all the shit that they eat, and then when they take a dump, that shit goes right back into their food, right back into that rice. And listen, I eat rice, but I'm gonna clean that shit first, okay? I don't give a shit about the nutrients. I get my nutrients another way, okay? But I'm telling y'all some things, other stuff. Girl, look. Hell yeah, that's right, Mo. A lot of people don't know that shit. I didn't know that shit until I was over there. Not until I was over there. I'm like, wait a minute. You would go into a certain area and it just smells real bad. And then when I asked, like, what's that smell? They said, oh, that's just the rice paddies. They call them rice paddies. And I'm not, and then you realize that that's their indoor plumbing. They outdoor plumbing is our food source. They be growing all kinds of shit over there. Oh man. You better fish. They come from my spottery in the zillion. But listen, I'm telling y'all, man, them rice fields, man, is nothing. What's growing that rice real fast is that they call it, what we call it here? Recycling. Believe it or not, we recycle also, right? My grandmother growing the hogs and the pigs, right? And things like that. She will feed them slop. They called it slop. What is slop? Slop would be the food. The food that we didn't eat that day would go all in this bucket, right? And we eat whatever was on our plate after we ate, whether it was the bones, leftover food, anything like that. And after that, she would put it in this one bucket. And they call it recycling. And then my grandmother would go out there and feed the pigs, the hogs, by throwing that slop bucket to them. And they would just eat that shit up and they would get big. And then we would end up eating that meat. Now they shooting them up with hormones. I'm wondering which one is better. I would rather eat the ones who eat slop than the ones shot up with hormones and shit. Right? One is that the animals be healthier. Hell yeah, listen, I know that's right. Okay? And I told y'all that time I ate that goddamn dog butt. on my behalf, I was tricked. Okay, and they told me it was dog. You know goddamn well if I ain't eat my daddy's rabbit and coons and possums or whatever, I'm a dad. Like whenever my dad cooked bird and all that shit, you know if I ain't eat my none of that from my dad, who could make anything. My dad would stew any fucking thing, and you would want it, you would eat it. Okay, you know goddamn well I wouldn't have never ate that goddamn dog. So I go to Korea, right? And a few of us, they showing me around the area and things like that. A few fellow soldiers invite me to go with them, right? I go, they take me to a restaurant, and we order. I can't read not a goddamn thing up there in Korean, right? And so I asked, what should I eat? And everybody giggling, right? I'm not lying. They giggling, and you know, they told me to get the Goku. I think it's called pronounced Goku or some shit like that. So they like, yeah, you're gonna like it. And somebody was from the south. They said, yeah, you're gonna like it. It's like stewed chicken. I was like, for real? They said, yeah. I said, what it come with? It's like stew. And the woman speaking this shit, right? It was stew. They told me it was like stewed chicken. So I said, okay, give me some Goku. Give me Goku, right? Get the Goku and shit. This goddamn piece, this shit is in front of me. And although it kind of looked a little weird, I thought it was like a miniature chicken. So I'm eating this shit. This shit tastes good too. Like, you know what I mean? It tastes like stewed chicken. Came with a little gravy over the rice. You know what I'm saying? I'm over there eating this shit up. I'm just tearing this shit up. And then all of a sudden, everybody sitting at the table start laughing. They laughing at my ass. Like, what? What? What's wrong? How's that dog? What you mean, how's that dog? What you talking about? That was dog. What? And motherfucker laughing and shit. How is Ruffy and Scruffy and shit. They were giving it all kinds of dog names. How is Scruffy? Who is Scruffy? You know you just ate Scruffy and shit. I ate Scruffy. I mean, they... What the fuck? Oh, and there was nothing I could do because I had already ate it, and I had already said that it was good. But I won't be eating that shit again, though. I'll tell you that. But I'm gonna have to be honest. They cooked that shit up. Them motherfuckers put some onions and garlic. I could taste everything they put on this dog. You understand what I'm saying? I knew that I should have known there wasn't no goddamn chicken, my dumb ass. fucking legs. God, it was like it was a little puppy or some shit. I don't even know why I allowed them to trick me into this bullshit, y'all. Cause now looking back at that shit, I realized that couldn't have been no goddamn chicken. After they told me it was dog, I started imagining, wait a minute, there was some ribs. There was like some little ribs. And a breast, there was some shit chickens don't have. Chickens don't have no goddamn ribs. You know what I'm saying? I was sucking all on the rib bones. Y'all, I'm crazy, man. That was some crazy shit. Gemini, they tricked me. And I can't even say that it was bad. I'm going to just have to say that if it was on the menu here in the U.S., y'all wouldn't have y'all little cute little dogs running around your house right now. I promise you, if that was something that we did here in the U.S., them cute little dog and clothes that y'all be putting on them goddamn puppies and shit, talking about, come here, Scruffy, come sit in my lap. Y'all motherfuckers would not be having them cute little dogs because somebody would have eaten your goddamn dog. In fact, you probably would have ate your own goddamn dog, okay? Sorry for you pet owners. I'm just keeping it real, okay? Shit. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't know what kind of dog it was. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Was it a Doberman Pinscherman or or a little Chihuahua? I don't know none of that. I would have been fighting mad if someone tricked me and I ate some K9. Right after I eat all of it, Oh, we fighting. I know that's right. That's why there's no strays in North Korea. Man, that's why they don't treat dogs the way we do. I think I saw a video. Remember we saw a video where somebody set a dog on fire. I think that was in one of them Asian countries. Remember that? That was like a year ago, 2 years ago, where they set they would set puppies on fire or throw them out to drown them, and it's because they don't look at them like we do. They look at them the way we look at chickens, right? We take a chicken and wring his neck so we can pluck the feathers off it and eat it. That's how they look at dogs. So here in America, we can't get angry at other people in their cultures, right? We got to think about it for what it is. To them, dogs are food. Just like for us, chickens are food. I got shit on this floor. You could tell I ain't sweep this. What the hell been in here? Look, what is all this? Y'all see them little crumbs on the floor? Somebody done been in here acting a fool. Crumbs just everywhere. Wonder what is this? I don't know. You could tell I haven't been down here cleaning all since my headache. So it's been about 5 days. And then I got sick again. So it's about 2 weeks. That's a damn shame. I'm gonna get down here. That's what I came down here to do. I was cleaning the bathroom upstairs. Then I started thinking about my dad. And then I started, thinking about I wish I could be Soncerae for a day where I could live in an imaginary world, right? If I could just be in an imaginary world where everything is perfect, where a baby who can't even talk crack jokes and it have a lot of humor with him, because we know that baby can't talk. So how in the hell her baby sitting up there telling her jokes? Y'all know that shit is all in her mind. I wish I could be cuckoo just for a moment, because if I was cuckoo for a moment, I could have a whole conversation with my dad. And I'll tell y'all, oh, my dad doing great, y'all. I just spoke to him, and he told me how to go in that kitchen and make some, his famous red beans and rice and all that shit. I know some of y'all want to know in the Soncerae bubble, right? Sometimes it gotta be great to be her. Think about it. You know what I mean? Where your world is always perfect and it's always good and nothing goes wrong. Yeah, she said her baby crack jokes. Mo, she said her baby crack jokes. He has a great sense of humor. That's what she said. That's what she said. That baby can't talk. When people told me she said that, I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? But I believe it because I know people not lying. The thing is, I had to hear it with my own 2 ears. You know what I mean? You know how something is so ridiculous? Even coming from her, I was thinking she couldn't have. Maybe she meant something different. Maybe she was talking about the baby 1 minute and then she quickly switched it to somebody else and maybe it was some confusion. But no, brother. She went straight into saying how her son is a great, this, that, and third, which I could get that, okay. And then she said how he has a great sense of humor. Like she said, he cracks jokes. He has a great sense of humor. I'm like, God damn. Like this girl living in a whole different world where she probably smell like roses and shit. You know what I mean? And she could walk around acting like everything's perfect and nobody's passed away in her family. She probably talked to my dad. Maybe I should give her my dad's, imaginary phone number and have her call him so she can then tell me what he said. So, oh my God. There's been conversing since the moon. Ah, Lord have mercy. She said no, she's in a constant state of distortion. BZ, how you doing, sister? Bliss, I don't know if you call it blissful ignorant, or do you just call it, I don't even know. Like, it's, at some point you start thinking, is she mentally ill? Like, because if that's what this is called, then somebody need to take control. You know what I mean? Like, she really shouldn't, if she's mentally ill to the degree that she shows here on the internet, somebody need to take control of that baby. You understand? But if she's just fucking stupid, which I think is a little bit of both, like almost like, I have a cousin like her. I have a cousin who could lie to your face. She'll come in here. I haven't seen my cousin until my dad's death last year. Before that, I hadn't seen her in many years, right? Because the last time, we used to be the best of cousins. Like this, she's my cousin on both sides of the family. Like my mom and her mom are sisters. Her dad and my dad were brothers. So it's almost like we, like sisters. And we grew up that way. It was like we cousins. And then her mother is my godmother. You see what I'm saying? So we grew up like that. But she's the one who tried to get me to date this guy. She knew this guy liked her. So she brought him to my house to introduce him to me. And then what happened was the guy liked me. Right? And then she got angry at me, even though I didn't like his ugly ass. This dude was fucking fugly. He was fugly, and I'm not a person to judge people. He, on some real shit, he just wasn't my type, right? He really just was not. He wasn't tall enough. He wasn't dark. You know what I mean? He wasn't chocolate. So was he an ugly man? Not really. He just wasn't my type, okay? She brought this man to me. Then when she realized that he liked me, he told her, yeah, well, I would like to date her. Then she tried to switch that shit on me, made it seem like I tried to take him from her. I didn't want this dude. And then on top of this shit, right? She ended up marrying dude. So I definitely stayed away, But she married dude. I was already dating my husband, which she didn't know him, right? I was dating my husband. Well, was I dating my husband? No, I wasn't dating him yet. I was already in the military, but I was on delayed entry. So I was just waiting to get my orders to go to my duty station. That's it. So I hadn't met my husband yet. But I was dating somebody else. Okay? But anyway, that she tried to set me up. She used to do silly shit like that anyway since we was a kid. Stupid shit. But after I was married and she married to this old dude, right? I wouldn't even go around him because it had to be weird for her to know that I could have had him. It wasn't weird for me, but this bitch is crazy. But also, let me tell y'all, she sat down in the whole group with the family. Remember I told y'all on Sundays the family get together. I was visiting down there, and so since I was there, I was the special guest, right? Because I was living in Missouri, and I went down, so I was the special guest for that Sunday. She comes, and in front of the whole family, she tells everybody how she used to cut my hair when I was a kid while I was asleep. Now, every summer, I would go and spend the summer with her after a certain age, with her and my other cousins and my godmother. Every summer when I went back home, my mom would ask me what the hell I was doing in my hair. She used to say, look like a rat been eating in your hair. She used to always, every summer, ask me, what am I doing in my hair? And I kept telling my mom I'm not doing nothing. Like, she said it must be the water there. Maybe it's the water in that area. Come to find out, my fucking cousin was cutting my hair little by little. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, she was a dirty. This is somebody who I looked up to. You know what I mean? Like, I would have gave her my right hand. That's how we grew up with each other. And you find out that your own family. And what's worse about this shit though, right, is that at this party when she's telling people this shit, she's bragging about it, laughing about it. It's not like she was saying she did it and she was sorry. It's almost like, ha ha, yep. While she was sleeping, I would cut her hair. You know what I mean? What, bitch? You know, it's almost like she looking at my hair because she always liked my hair. And I don't even know why. It's just fucking hair. Right? Just fucking hair. Of course, it's a different color than most people in my family. Right? But it is what it is. But why are you bragging that you cut my hair? Almost like she wanted to get a pair of scissors doing that goddamn meeting, that family meeting, and cut my hair right then and there. Look, some people can root you with hair. Oh yeah, yeah, but she ain't got them type of powers. If anybody, if everybody in my family know the person with the rooting power, that would be me. Okay, I don't know what my cousin just was. She was just nasty, but she's also the Soncerae of the family. She's the liar. She'll look you right in your face and tell you, "Didn't you just see that goat?" You like, "What goat, girl? Didn't you see the goat, bitch? What goat?" Like she'll tell you you done something that you know you ain't do. She'll say that we done it together when we ain't do shit. I used to be sitting there. She'll say, "Yeah, we did this." I'll be looking like, "What?" And then she'll say, "Ask her." Ask me what? Like, I'm not a good liar. I'm not a liar. And like she was like she done told me stories about her being a millionaire. This must be some shit that a lot of people have in the world, right? Cause I got a Soncerae in my family, bitch. Okay, I have a Soncerae in my motherfucking family. I just stayed away from this bitch for 20 plus years. That's all. That's all. Right? I don't know her. I don't know her kids. If her kids stood in front of me right now, I wouldn't know. You understand? Like I met her children for the first time for my dad's funeral last year. Uh, so that was the reason why I stayed from her. Because when you are adult, you can make decisions. You can't decide who your family is, right? You can most definitely decide on the type of people you want to be around. Okay. Um, So as a kid, although I loved her and shit, I used to I started piecing shit together as I became an older teenager. I think she tried to get me raped once. Y'all think I'm kidding? Like this bitch is one time she tried to get me raped with some guy who she was supposed to be dating. She brings him over to her house as if he's her boyfriend. This was before she brought that dude to my house after we was older. See, by then I was getting ready to go in the military. See, I was an older teenager. The last dirty thing that bitch ever done to me for real, I went to stay by her house one weekend. I'm thinking I may have been about 14, 15 years old. Now she's older than me. So if I was 15, she's about 17 or 18. But I think she was about 17 because she was still in school. Went over there for one summer, right? But just for the weekend, not for the whole summer this time. Because as I got older, I wasn't staying at people's house all summer. You know, I just might go spend a weekend with my cousins and shit. Anyway, so I'm there, and she's dating this guy, cute guy, right? He's about her age, but I'm younger. He comes over, and she's kissing him. You know, I actually learned how to kiss and all that shit from her. By her teaching me. She taught me how to use a tampon, which I never used one, right? Using it with a glass. Like that's the type of cousin she was. I was learning shit from her throughout my life, right? Anyway, she's kissing this dude and everything, and I'm just looking. Ain't no big deal to me, you know. I'm not ratting her out or nothing. But she leaves the room, and this dude kisses me. And I'm fighting him off. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. You my cousin's boyfriend. What the fuck? And then he jumps on top of me and shit. And I'm like, whoa. What? And he then tells me, right? Because I was a tomboy. I'm whipping this nigga's ass, right? I kicked him in his balls and shit. He tells me what's my problem. My cousin, her her supposed to be his supposed to be girlfriend. My cousin told him that it was okay. Told him it was okay. What? I was a virgin, number one, and number two, what? Yes, he told me. I was like, I didn't even know whether to believe until she walked in the room, and she was looking as if, almost like, are y'all done? What you mean, are we done? Done doing what? So that's when I realized she and we wasn't, what I mean? Did she think she was doing me a favor by having me have sex with this guy? I don't even know what the fuck. I don't know what she was thinking. But look, sometimes family, uh, you know, so I got a Soncerae in my fucking family. I tell y'all that all the time. That's how I know how to deal with Soncerae. I'm gonna be honest, the way to deal with a Soncerae is to stay far away from them bitches. Okay? Just leave them alone and let them be. Because they ain't got nothing to offer you. They ain't got nothing to offer you. The world, really, on some real shit, they ain't got nothing to offer nobody. Yeah, I don't even know, like, I can't even understand what would be the purpose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what was the purpose of any of that shit? We was like tight as, remember I told y'all that time, she was the cousin I was with when we almost got raped and murdered together. Right? I started piecing all them things in my head when I came about 15, when that incident happened with that boy. I started piecing all the shit her and I went through these years. So when I got in that car with that strange dude, he was strange to me, but he wasn't strange to her. You know what I mean? And the only reason we got out of that car, I don't even know how we unlocked that car. That dude was about to take us all the way to Baton Rouge. Hours away. We were supposed to be just going to the store around the corner. And dude pulled up and said, where y'all going? Oh, we're going to the store. Oh, you want to ride? Now remember, she's older than I am. I'm thinking I probably was like 11. That make her about 13. I'm 11, she's 13. She lives in this area, so she know these people. You see? So when she's like getting in the car, and I'm like, the store right there. Like the store wasn't, we could see the store from where the fuck we were. Like we had to just go to the corner. It was a neighborhood store, like a little store. But his house was right next door to the store. So I don't even know why he would offer us a fucking ride to the store. But he was older. He was old enough to drive. So, but she knew him because she knew his sister. We got in this nigga's car. He starts going the opposite fucking way. We asked him, where you going? He says, oh, I gotta go to the store. Y'all can ride with me. Right? We thinking, what store? Then he starts talking about where I'm about to go to Baton Rouge. You going to where? We don't even know what Baton Rouge is. I don't even know if I knew what a Baton Rouge was. You understand what I'm saying? I don't even know if I have ever heard of Baton Rouge before this nigga said this shit. My cousin is sitting on the side of him. I'm sitting on the side of her by the door. And the door locks. We're like, wait, we don't think we could go to Baton Rouge. How far is that? He said, we'll be back later tonight. What? We supposed to be just going to the corner store. Oh my God. We get far away, you know what I mean? Which I consider far. It wasn't that far in the vehicle. We probably was in this car all of 5 minutes. He stops at a stop sign. And I don't even know how that door opened, but I was able to open that door. We jumped out. Now, see, looking back at it with an adult mind, right? With an adult mind, for this nigga to take us all the way to Baton Rouge when he had no permission. Think about how that would have turned out when he brought us back. if he brought us back. So in an adult mind, I'm thinking this nigga was gonna take us somewhere, rape and murder us. That's what I'm thinking. That's with my adult mind. With my kid mind, like we didn't understand why. Because with my kid mind, we just knew we would get in trouble. We thought we would get in trouble. We didn't think anything about him. We thought, okay, we're gonna be in trouble. We was far away from the house. We ain't had no money. The two little girls. You know what I'm saying? Baton Rouge is far from Kenner. You know what I mean? Kenner, which is close to New Orleans, is quite some ways from Baton Rouge. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't even but see, things like that, I used to get in trouble like that with her. See, my dad taught me better than to get in cars with strangers. The problem was when I was around my family members, if they wasn't strangers to my family members, then they wasn't strangers to me, right? Because if I'm with my family member and they know this person, but I realized my aunt didn't raise my cousins that way. See, my dad and mom was strict. They were fucking strict for real. That's one of the reasons why I would go by cousins' homes when I was a teenager. Because the shit I was able to do at their homes, I was not fucking able to do at my house. Right? At my house, I had to be first of all, at my house, it was nothing but family. Nothing but family around. So everybody who was around for me to play with or whatever was cousins. Everybody. Go to my cousins' homes, they lived in neighborhoods with friends and cute boys and other girls and shit. You know what I mean? We used to ride from Savannah to drive in 10th grade to go to club full of car full of girls. That's what I'm talking about. You know how it is when you girls and shit. Hey, welcome back, Cynthia. You know when you girls, we do things different than you boys. When we come of age, we're willing to hang with each other. We'll watch out for each other. You know what I mean? We get cute together and shit. And if you're real good friends, you kind of know when to back off from certain guys because you know what I mean? You let the guy choose. Like I had my best friend. All my best friends were cute. All of us was cute, right? I remember my best friend. She was light skinned like me, right? And taller than I was. I'm short. I'm the short one, always the short one in the group. Then she had a cousin. Her cousin was tall and dark skinned. She was so goddamn pretty, right? She was so goddamn pretty. She had that long, dark, black, thick ass hair, right? And then usually my friend, it would be her cousins, and then it might be my cousins, and there's a group of us who was tight. And so when we would go somewhere and meet boys, we had to meet boys. The same amount of girls we were had to be the same amount of boys. And that's how you usually did it, right? Your clique would meet a group of boys. And then sometimes we all might like the group of boys, they had to be cute, most definitely. And sometimes all three of us, if it was three of us, we might like the same guy. So in that case, we would let the guys start choosing, right? Because we're not going to fight over no guy. And since all three of them are cute anyway, we would let the guys kind of, we would see how it would flow. And that's how you did it. Partner in crime. Yeah, we would be partners in crime. You know, that's goddamn right, man. We whatever happens would stick just with us. We won't share that shit with nobody. I would not even share that shit with my cousin. Whatever happened with me and my girls when we out together, that's us. You know, if we got in some trouble, we would figure out how to get out of trouble. It's some things that went down. I'm trying to tell you, you know, that I never spoke about. We were just tight like that. And you know, you get some freaky friends, or you might get the friend who you know is straight laced, and then we would go out and just enjoy. And I was the one who never drunk, and they would drink. So that means I'm the one who gonna make sure that everybody stayed kosher. I was the one who would walk around and say, you know, you about to kiss that boy. You sure you want to do this? And if she told me she was good with it, then okay. You know, they went in the room and did whatever they did. But if I thought she was too drunk to make those decisions, then I would be like, nah, y'all, we gotta go. You know what I mean? We gotta go. I can't let this go down. And that's how you're supposed to be with your friends. You're supposed to know them well enough to know whether they are too drunk to make decisions or whether they are just feeling good and they like that dude for that moment. Okay? And so yeah. I know and you men, right? I don't know how y'all played it. I only knew how you played it. The guys who played with us, I knew how y'all played it. But I don't know how guys as a whole, how y'all do things. But girls, we stick with each other. I couldn't do that with my cousin though, right? Because no matter what she did, she would tell a story and make it seem like it was me. She the one kissing on the dude and trying to make it seem like it was me. You know, oh yeah, she the one who had him over here. What? I don't even know that dude. How you gonna blame that shit on me? You know what I mean? So by the time I was a certain age where I could go out by myself with my girl, you know goddamn well I ain't going with my cousin. Shit, you're not going nowhere with her ass. Didn't trust her. After she tried to get me have sex with some dude I didn't even fucking know. Fuck out of here. Anyway, everybody, I just want to thank y'all for making me feel better. Okay? Because I got to go over there and clean up this mess that I have over there. See that over there? That mess over there? See that mess? I got a whole shitload of mess over there. I got to go clean that shit up. It's making my head hurt watching it. It's going to take me all of 5 minutes to put that bag where it go. I don't know who put that all there. My husband probably put that there. Okay? I don't even know where the bag come from. He must have put that shit over there too. I don't even know how that. But I haven't been down here in like a week, almost 2 weeks. Right? I came down here and made that cake that day, and I got online, but it wasn't looking like this. So somebody's been down here searching through shit. So I'm gonna go straighten this up, and then tomorrow, if I feel better, because I do feel better, I took a medicine that I rarely ever take. It's the strongest of all my medications. I normally don't take it because I'm scared to. I'm scared to take the morphine. My morphine comes in a liquid form, right? And I don't even know how to take it for real. Like the goddamn instructions on the box, it's confusing to me. Because instead of them telling me exactly how much to take, they tell me how much to take per this, that, and that. And so I'm supposed to decipher how much I'm supposed to take. So I don't mess with it. But the pain was so bad, I told my husband, okay, let's just do it. Thank you, Black Art. So I decided my husband did it. He only gave me 0.1 milliliters. I think it's milliliters. I was going to ask somebody, because somebody told me they own morphine. And I was going to email her and ask her how should I take it. But then I decided to let my husband just decide. And then I told him to watch me. I don't want to die, God damn it. You know, that you mess around with certain drugs, man. I know that's why I should call the pharmacist, because they should have it in the records, right? How much I'm supposed to take. See, because they didn't on the instructions. The instructions didn't break it down the way it made it seem like it's adjustable. So it said something. It told me how many milliliters equaled 10 milligrams. But see, my medicine I'm supposed to take 30 milligrams. So then now I'm getting worried, right? Because I'm like, instead of them just telling me to go and take like 3.3 milliliters, instead of them telling me that, they didn't do that. They would like take so much per milligrams. I was like, okay, god damn. Look, sometimes I'm on this medication. You mean to tell me you expect me to do math? And then you want me to do this math, and then I'm scared that it might be wrong. Motherfuckers just told me. That's some dumbass shit. BZ, right? Why they could just tell me, hey, take this milliliter, point this much milliliters, so many hours. Don't be telling me that this much milliliters equals that. Fuck out of here. So I'm scared. I'm scared of the morphine. It's the medication of all medications that I have, and I just don't like taking it because I'm scared of it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just like that Oxycontin when I was on that shit. I wouldn't take that Oxycontin. That's why I think it didn't work. I told the doctor shit didn't work, but I think it didn't work because I wasn't really taking it. I wasn't taking it well because I was scared of it. I had heard Oxycontin was so bad. I heard that it was addictive. You heard all this shit on the street about people dying from it. So when that doctor gave me that shit, first of all, it took me 2 months to even go and really get it filled. Then he said, look, before I give you something else, I gotta give you this. Like the insurance companies is the reason why these fools give you this stupid shit. Right? I asked them for one thing, right? They tell me, well, before I go to that, we gotta try this. We gotta try that. I'm like, oh, god damn. Like, I'm telling them, one of my friends told me this was working for them and I want to try this. Well, I don't even know if it's an insurance company or maybe these doctors get a kickback for certain drugs. I don't even know, but they're starting to piss me the fuck off. The VA should be giving you about... Well, I don't go to the VA for my medicines. I go to the VA for certain meds, but I don't go to the VA for... I'm with pain management. But you're right. That's where I should be going because it'd be a whole lot cheaper, right? I wouldn't have to pay nothing. Not nothing. And they... the good thing about the VA, too, is I wouldn't have to be seeing a doctor every single month. They will mail my medicine to me. I'll get it on time. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to start just going to the VA. I'm going to be honest. Okay? I'm like, because the reason I need this medication is because another medication that the insurance or somebody's holding up. I haven't had it in 2 weeks. That might be why my pain is so bad. It might be a little mixture of not having that long acting and also not having it in my system, which is almost like my body's used to it. That might be why I'm going through all this extra bullshit. So I might do that. I might have to do that. Don't think about VA though. Goddamn, sometimes it takes forever to get an appointment. But, and also, I got this contract with these pain management people where nobody else can give me my medicine. So I got to figure out how to do that. All kinds of shit. Send your scripts to the VA. Can I do that on BZ? Like, can I get outside scripts that'll go to the pharmacy? I never thought about that. I'm going to have to see. Because if that can happen, because if I go through the VA anyway, they're going to outsource my pain management. Like I used to be not that way, right? But now, so the VA outsources everything now, right? Remember when you used to go to the VA to get an x-ray, you used to be able to go to VA to have neurology, you used to go to the VA for anything. Not anymore. Here in Delaware, they outsource everything. So I go see my primary doctor, and then I gotta wait. My primary doctor writes like a referral. Then you gotta go through some insurance people. I gotta sit at home, wait for the insurance people to call me. They then find a doctor and tell me where to go. Which is sometimes, one time I needed surgery. It took 3 months for me to get a surgery that I needed right away. Okay? Mess around with VA. That's why I don't fuck with them like that. Systems linked, so any meds you get from anywhere. Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, they know everything I get. Like when I go to the doctor's office or any doctor's office, they can see what I got and when I got it. You right about that. Now it wasn't that way until maybe in the last 2 years. I used to be able to go to VA and get what the hell I wanted. and nobody else would know the difference. Not no more though, goddamn it. They started linking that shit up to the to nationwide. I think it's like a nationwide link up. You go see a doctor's office today, they could pull up your uh your pharmacy records right there. No matter what type of doctor it is, they could pull up pharmacy records using your goddamn social security number. Oh, I don't even think it's your social. I think it's your name and your date of birth. You're right about that, BZ. And the VA is not that far from me. Actually, I can get up and be there in 5 minutes. Right? The Wilmington VA is right there. Because you know when you go to the VA, they pay you. If I travel, they give me pay for travel, which really only is like $5 or some shit, girl. It's like fucking $5 because it's so close to me. Problem is, um, they it's just they don't have the doctor's resources anymore. Yep, they'll pay for your hotel stay, your travel there, food, depending on how far away it is, all kinds of shit. They give you vouchers, right? It's all kinds of good things. But the problem is the VA here. I'm gonna be honest. After Trump came into office, everything got fucked up. Now maybe it's back on track. Because before Trump came into office, I was about to get ready to have surgery. Since he took office and just by him talking, the nonsense he was talking, they stopped everything. I still haven't had a checkup from surgery I had 2 years ago. Since Trump been in office, I still haven't had to, you know how you have an operation and you're supposed to have a checkup to make sure everything's straight? I still haven't been able to get that shit yet. They trying to figure out which insurance. I gave up on that shit. I had that surgery 2 years ago. Yeah, that's unacceptable because I have an issue. The last time I saw the doctor, I told her that I was having a lot of pain. So they determined that my intestines, when they closed me up, my intestines is twisted. Then I've been waiting for them people to call me. She told me to give them a year, heal. Maybe it might untwist itself. Well, it hasn't untwisted itself. So now going through them is like a fucking headache. It's like, well, it's almost like I can't find a doctor. They have to find a doctor. If the doctor costs too much, they don't want to deal with it. It's so much bullshit. So I have insurance where I can just go, you know what I mean? It's a lot of bullshit. Oh, what you mean go to the VA and what you mean set up my own appointment at the VA? Because I could do that. That's not a problem. The problem comes with the outsource. Oh, you said go to. You're right about that because I can go. They got a major VA in Baltimore, I think, and they also got one in Philly, which they're just like 1 hour away. Either way, I can go in that direction to get to Baltimore in an hour, and that way to get to Philly in an hour. You're right about that. Can I do that? So I could, like I knew when I went to New Orleans, when I was down there, I could go there. Can I actually go to oh shit. Cause there's also a headache clinic. There's a headache clinic in Maryland that I could probably get seen at. Thank you, Cynthia. I've been going through it for a while. You have to register for VA. I don't have to register for VA to visit. Yeah, I can go to any VA hospital bay. Oh, I'm registered worldwide. I don't know about the registering at different places. Maybe because you I guess it depends on like, were you just a regular vet and you just decided to get registered, or are you a disabled vet who, you know what I mean, like, which is the weirdest thing because I'm supposed to be able to walk in right now. If I want to go to the emergency room, I can go to the VA emergency room and they will see me. Some veterans can't do that. some veterans, when you walk in, depends on what it is, they'll make you an appointment and tell you they got to set it up and you got to do some paperwork and da 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 to see if you can be seen. There's different type of vet. Well, yeah, that's already been assigned to me many years ago. But I know I could go to any VA as far as like when I was in Louisiana, they started seeing me there. I just never thought about if I could just go, to Baltimore or PA right there. I know I don't have to be registered. I never thought about that. Yeah, you could change your PCP. And the weird thing what they did here in Delaware, BZ, is every female has the. It used to be where you had different doctors, right, who could be your primary care physician. But then, maybe about 5 years ago, they changed it to where all females now see this one goddamn doctor. So every female who goes through the Wilmington VA hospital sees this one fucking doctor. And she's only there now 3 days a week. It's the so you might not get an appointment for months. It didn't used to be like that. It started, I don't know what they started doing. That hospital used to be jumping. It's a big hospital. They even build on to the hospital just so they can not use it. The dumbest shit ever. I've never seen this shit. It's like Obama started giving money to the VAs. So the hospital started building up. And then all of a sudden Trump jumped in and all of a sudden now they shut down a lot of the hospital. Oh, you have a PCP in both those areas? Right. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I know I could just show up. Like you could show up at a VA and say, "Hey, I need to see somebody." It don't even have to be. It don't have to be the ER. You could show up during the regular business hours and say you need to see someone, and they will fit you in. And if they don't fit you in, then there'll be a nurse, some nurse on duty. They call it like an on-call nurse who will figure out what's your problem and then determine where you could go that day. So you might have to go to the ER. They might make you go through the ER, and then if they have time, they'll call another doctor to say, "Hey, we got somebody down here need to be seen," and then that's how you'll get in. But shit, Philly VA is surrounded by a lot of big boy teaching hospitals, so a lot of. Oh, really? Because Delaware ain't got shit. Delaware ain't got shit. I might need to change. That little jump, that little ride, that extra little ride might be worth it. So which one you like better, Dre? I don't want to go all the way to DC. Goddamn, that's 2 hours. I could be in Baltimore in 45 minutes to an hour. Do you like the one in Baltimore? Cause I'll be there Monday. Cause I gotta get this shit figured out some kind of way. It's hard to find a neurologist in this area. Okay, so I don't even have a neurologist. I know, but so my doctor gave me, because of the insurance I have great insurance outside of the VA. Because of that, I can go to any goddamn doctor. I don't even need a script. But now that means I got to go through the phone book to find a neurologist. Parking is horrible. Wait, even at the VA, they don't have regular parking. They don't have shuttles. Wait a minute, what? Wait a minute. Okay, let me back up a little bit. So here in Delaware, right? You can park. They got parking, and it is horrible. But it's in the same little area. But even let's say, not only do they have where I could park right down the hill, and a shuttle bus will come and pick my ass up and bring me to the top of the hill. Which even if I had to walk, it's not a long distance walk. right? But I never walk it. But on top of that, I could. They will park my car for me. I could pull up. What they call it, valet parking. VA here in Delaware got valet parking. Hell yes, they do. But I'm not sure if it's for everybody. But I parked. I pull up right there in this little area. Get a motherfucker my keys, and they parks my vehicle. Okay. They don't have that in Baltimore? Say what? I can't be listen, I'm not gonna be doing no goddamn hike just to get to no goddamn hospital, no goddamn appointment. And then again, Trump might have taken that shit away. It's not that you think about it. Oh, I hope they don't I hope you don't get deported. Listen. Oh, they do have valet? Oh, okay. Please, because it might be gone. I'm gonna be honest. After I couldn't get the help, and I was in the midst of this system when Trump had just got into office. I just had surgery. Then this man gets in office. After he got in office, I couldn't see a fucking doctor. Right? The only person I was able to see was my primary care. But she's not the person who did the surgery. The person who did the surgery was outside of the VA. But they kept trying to decide how I was going to get to see her again. Because they was waiting for Trump to do something. So then, all of a sudden, this woman makes an appointment with me. Right? Because they said after they paid for the surgery and for me to see her after the surgery. That was already paid for and negotiated. Okay, cool. So I went to see her. We determined that my intestines are twisted. Okay? Now the problem is going to get this surgery, the mess up doing the surgery corrected. So I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to get it, hopefully I get this straight set up. Because I'm going to tell y'all, the pain I go through every time I need to use the bathroom. So imagine your intestine being twisted, right? So imagine when you have to use the bathroom. By the time it starts time for me to use the bathroom, it has to go through my intestines, a twisted portion. Now I'm bent over in pain, like horrible pain. In the beginning, this pain was so bad because I didn't know what it was. Now we know what it is, and there's not. At least I know. Okay, that means I'm about to go use the bathroom. The pain is so bad, going through like a twisted rope where something can't get through. Imagine like a hose, and the hose is twisted where the water can't go through. That's what my intestines are like. Oh, it's underneath the hospital? Okay, that's not that bad. Oh, okay, so they do have a large, like, parking garage. Yeah, in Delaware, I guess because it's not that big. And they did add some new parking around and things like that. When they started building on. Anyway, Mondays is not a good day for me because I don't know why. I just don't like Mondays. But Tuesday, I'm definitely going to be making calls. I think that's a good idea. Might be the... See, that's why when we talk to each other, we share information. You know what I mean? Like, I would have never thought of going to another VA. Now, I did think about going to another hospital in Baltimore because somebody told me about a headache clinic. But I kept saying, am I going to have problems with the insurance? Because I think once I go out of state, I might be going out of network. I'm not sure how that works, right? But I don't have to worry about any of that if I could go to a VA hospital. No matter where the VA hospital is, I can go. So, yeah, that makes things a lot easier. That's how we're going to be doing this. See, thank you, BZ and Dre Drizzle, baby. Yes, thank y'all for that. And for everybody else out there experiencing pain or you have, health issues, we all got them. You know what I mean? I've had this headache since I was young. I got out of the military a few years after. Boom, headache, bam. Okay. Um, Now they don't want to admit why I have this headache, but we have determined that I was poisoned. It's nothing that I did. You know what I mean? Like I was poisoned while we was on the post. And so we find that there's a lot of people with the same issues that I have. It's a lot of us. And what's worse is that there's children. I'm lucky my children. One of my sons have migraines. I'm hoping to God, at least his migraine go away, right? He gets the headache and it goes away. My headache never goes away. So I'm lucky my children are even healthy. It's like God sent that my kids came out healthy because of what I was, what happened to me. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Let me see. I know Trump is trying to do everything. He's trying to get immigrants. He's trying to get immigrants deported. I don't even understand. Do I don't know if he's trying to really get them deported. If that's just a stance that he stands on. I think I don't even know what that man's trying to do. I don't give a shit no more. I just can't wait till it's over. Whether we got to go through another hoping we ain't got to go through another 4 years of Trump. Cause see, some of us who are directly affected by his actions, we know. But there's a lot of people who sit along the sidelines, listening to the news, claiming that he's beneficial to them. And I'm like, he's beneficial to you. How is he beneficial to you? We got a lot of black people talking about Trump is beneficial to them. And then they'll say, well, we're making money. Well, you will always make money. when haven't anybody made money in the U.S. if you got a fucking job? Right? I heard somebody say that shit today. They were like, well, I make money. Nigga, you make money because everybody making money. We're in the U.S. Everybody making money because money keep it flowing. As long as you have a job, you making money. You own a company and you have a item that you're selling that other people want, right? If you have goods and services that people want and need, then you're gonna make money. They ain't got shit to do with goddamn Trump. They're the dumbest shit I've ever heard black people say. Dumbest shit ever. Because Trump has nothing to do with you making money. My nigga. Okay? Trump has nothing to do with you making money. The economy is what the economy is. Even if the economy went slower, certain people, depending on your goods and services, you will still make money. There will still be people paying rent. Still people buying homes unless the market crashed. The market crashed, then now the people who rent, they gonna make the most money, right? Because people gonna lose homes, but they still gonna need places to live, so they gonna start renting. So I mean, yes, there's some markets that can crash, but the world keeps spinning and people can still make money. These niggas work regular jobs talking about I'm making money. ah, had me roll my blunt, girl. That's what look, I wish I could be over there with you right now, black and Irish girl. And you teach me how to roll, and I'll sit there on the side of you like your crazy aunt and be like, show me how to puff on this shit, girl. I know that's right, god damn it. I'm scared to ask my sons, right? Yeah, I'm scared because if I ask my sons, right, if I say, hey, mom, you want to try something? Like, I know one son, I know he smoke. I'm just going to be 100 with it, right? I know it. I can smell it on him. And he knows not to smoke in my house, but I can smell it on him. And we've had conversations with him and explained to him it's not legal here. You get stopped, blah, 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 blah. But I think here in Delaware now, when you get stopped with it, they just give you a ticket. I think that's what he told me. But I'm not sure, okay? The weird thing is, I would like to try it, but I think it's not right for me to ask my son to show me. Because that will be me telling him that it's cool what he's doing. Even though he's 25 now, right? He's 25. He turned 25 this week. And, what y'all think? Look, she said, cool, I'll pay a ticket. That's what he said. He said, it's just a ticket. He said, you don't go to jail, you just get a ticket. And he said he'll pay the ticket. It's a little bit different for me, though, because if I get caught, right, they could stop me from getting my medicine. Yeah, they could stop me from getting my medicine. But from my understanding, it comes out of your system. And if it's better, then I can get the pills. I qualify for the medical marijuana anyway. Right? I just need to know, does this shit work? I have a little pipe for when I want to smoke. It's like a little pipe. Is it like a vape? So what, can you vape that stuff? Where it don't have to be smoke in my lungs? I never smoked nothing in my life. Can it be like a vape? And I heard my father-in-law used to have marijuana pills. He had cancer. His pain was yeah, me and him was on the same type of mess. I just never asked for the marijuanas. I think back then I didn't qualify. It used to be only for cancer and AIDS patient, but it since changed. Now it's for cancer, AIDS, if you have PTSD, and I think even serious pain. So, girl, listen, me and we're gonna get together next time. Black and Irish, girl, we're gonna meet up, and you gonna say, Auntie Bomb, here you go, and you gonna show me. You gonna teach me how to smoke it. Who else I'm missing? What his name? Scarhar. Scarhar be telling me all about the different strands and shit like that. Cause you know Scarhar is in the area. What I think he said Colorado or Oregon or something like that, where it's totally legal. And Scarhar told me he gonna have me come over and we're gonna chill. He gonna bake me some cookies and shit. That's what Scarhar told me. Scarhar said, Bomb, I got you. I said, I'm coming over, goddamn. We're gonna get rid of this pain. And I'm thinking about buying that CBD. Y'all told me to get that CBD. Now listen, I'm gonna go get it. I saw it at Walmart in Maryland. I'm gonna grab some CBD oil. But do you drink it or do you? I don't need no shit that you just rub on you. I need something that gonna go in my goddamn system. And if it works, then that'll be great though. That CBD oil, if it works for pain. So I'm gonna do some research on it first though, cause I don't want to be dying and overdosing on the bullshit. I'll be dead, and I'm gonna have my kids come on here and haunt all. I'm gonna haunt all y'all motherfuckers. Everybody who told me to get that CBD oil, I'm coming back as a ghost. God damn it. Okay, cannabis oil is good. Okay, yeah. Just know, Black and Irish, I'm coming back and haunt everybody. I'm gonna put these heads to use. I'm gonna come back in y'all goddamn dreams looking like this one right there. Okay? And then once in a while I might turn to that one. Y'all, this is gonna be in y'all goddamn dreams. I'm gonna light the candle and everything, goddamn. I had the black cat. I put the black cat away. The black cat is in that where my black cat at? Oh shit, the black cat that got a where the black cat at? Uh-oh. My black cat isn't in there. Let me see. Oh, is that the black cat? Nope. I don't see the black cat. The black cat that got up and left, y'all. That means I must have put a spell on somebody. And the black cat is in their dreams right now. So anyway, the black cat gonna come back. Probably hunting Beasley right now. Remember I put that spell on Beasley. So the black cat is doing the job. Beasley must be sleeping somewhere. You say, lucky for me, I don't dream. my black cat is goddamn, my black cat love me, okay? He's gonna do whatever I tell him to do. I put that spell on Beasley. I ain't seen Beasley since. Beasley stays far away from me. He's not fucking around with that voodoo. Okay? Anyway, I am going to go and clean up, and then I'm gonna head to bed. What time is it? It's almost 3 my time. because my head is starting to hurt again, so I'm going to take a little bit of that medicine. And then, but we will be live tomorrow. And I can't do it on the other channel, okay? Until I did put in the, you know how when it's, so that female, Candy, okay, so that female, Candy, reported my video, one of the videos. Remember when she came in and she was getting on Princess? So she reported one of the videos for being not bullying. Okay, so one went down for bullying while we was live. Remember that one? That one went down for harassment. But okay, so one went down for harassment and bullying, and the other one went down for, God damn, I can't think. Well, anyway, one of them, the first one that went down the live, that shouldn't have went down, right? So it didn't fit the bill. So I put in for that one. But see, so that was the warning. Then Candy went and reported a video. And that's the video that made it to where I can't go live on that channel. See, I'm okay with the first strike because the first strike is considered a warning. But when they give you 2 strikes in one day, I don't think that shit is right. I don't think people should be able to go through your old fucking videos and start reporting them after they've been up for a while. You know what I mean? Like if nobody reported that shit, who is going to watch a video later on? These bitches is going through and just reporting video after video after video after video. And YouTube, instead of them they don't even want to go through the video. So what they do, they decide, okay, I'm just going to take it down. I'm okay with them. If they want to take some shit down, take it down, but don't give me no strike. You know, old girl, what her name is? That young, crazy fucking female over there. She had a video come down. It did come down, but I didn't get a strike for it because she kept reporting it. And see, that's when YouTube is a bitch. YouTube, if you listening, this whole system is straight bitch. And y'all know I don't give a fuck about no YouTube, right? I'm going to just tell you why. Because somebody could just keep back to back to back to back reporting it. Back to back to, and instead of these motherfuckers saying, look, nothing is wrong with this video, and no matter who reported after, it shouldn't even be looked at again. What they do is, if somebody keeps reporting it, they decide, oh, let me just take it down. And what kind of fucking system is that? Because if that's what they're going to do, then I want to get on here with a crew of us and we just start reporting Soncerae videos back to back to back to back and see how many of them come down. And do YouTube want that system to be like that? That's fucked up. If you report a video and they look at it and determine that it's not against any of the rules, right? Then nobody should be able to come and claim something else. Fucked up fucking bullshit. Okay, so then they got this harassment. The way harassment work, the rule is, well, it depends. You ain't really got to do nothing. But if you make somebody feel like they harassed. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, that girl over there saying my name, so maybe it's because I'm not reporting her. I don't know. So if every time that bitch say my name, should I be over there reporting her for saying my name? I wouldn't even want to do that. But apparently, Soncerae want to play these games, so maybe that's what I should be doing. But I don't feel it. This is her business. This is how she make money. And maybe I should go over there and every video where she says somebody's name, report that motherfucker for privacy issues, bullying. I've never even said her name except the name that she uses on the internet. The name she uses is the only name I call her. I mean, besides skank, stinky pussy, shit like that. That's different, okay? Anyway, Candy is a troll, and that's right, she's a troll, but I'm okay with Candy. Candy, me and Candy cool. Mr. Law, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. Law? Yeah. Anyway, I do call her stinky pussy and all that shit, but I mean, she the one who told everybody pussy stink. And so they took one video down, even though in the video, most of the video is her speaking. I ain't have to say a word. You know what I mean? When she like, Well, he left me because the next day he left me. Like you just told us the whole argument about your boyfriend telling you that you stink. So I'm just doing commentary. She didn't want to put that shit up. And then on top of that, she still got the video up on her channel where she's telling people this shit. So how is it that mine is bullying but hers is cool? How is my commentary on her nonsense, how is that considered bullying? It don't even make no goddamn sense. But anyway, I'm about to get out of here. And Soncerae, I just want you to know in case you catch the end of this video. I am jealous, bitch, sometimes that I can't be as whack as you is. I can't be as delusional as you. I'm jealous because if I could just be enough, crazy as you are every day, if I could just be that just for a moment, I'll be able to get on the phone and talk to some people who I know I can't really get on the phone and talk with. Just like you said, your son, who can't even talk, is comical. You said he's hilarious. You said he has a great sense of humor. He be laughing and cracking jokes. Remember how you said that? The baby can't even say mama yet. Which, by the way, I'm gonna be nice. He should be at least saying dada or mama. Mimi, mama, me. That baby should be talking. That baby is over there being too motherfucking silent. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That baby is almost a year. You mean it? Has any of y'all ever heard that baby say one vowel, one noun, any sounds at all? And I said this before that baby was born. Okay, I said this before that baby was born. I warned her, and you could go back and look at a video. I think I called the video where I was telling her about her being depressed while pregnant. I explained what it meant and everything, and I told her how that can affect the baby. And I even told her that I had a dream that something was wrong with that baby. I told her, I said, I've had a dream that something's going to be wrong and you're going to go through 18 years of hardship. I'm not lying. I had that dream. Okay? Too much. She's over there hurting that baby. She was hurting that baby even when it was in her womb. She wouldn't even go get checked. Right? And so I was not making videos making fun of her. I was making videos informing her, trying to educate her. But she don't care. You see, sometimes you come across some women, they don't give a shit about nothing, nobody else. They delusional. Now, I don't want to make this about Soncerae, so I'm going to hop my ass off here, because you know I could be on here for 8 hours talking about that dumb bitch right there. Y'all already know how I get down. I can't even stand a woman who don't even want to take care of her own child. You got to be like, anyway. So I'm going to hop my ass off of here, okay? And I might keep this up for a day or so, but I'm going to end up taking it down because I was crying. I was going boo-hoo, and they got some people, you know what I mean, they'll take it for weakness. And then y'all know that'll be okay, though, because then I'll come back at their ass and show them just how weak I really am. Okay? Who gives a damn about other motherfuckers? But I do want to say thank you to everybody who had my back. You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell the cool people who was here, you know, and sharing in my pain and my stories about my father. Because I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes even though I'm married with children, my children are grown. Sometimes without my dad, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm lost sometimes. Because I could call my dad, even though I know this shit by heart. It don't even matter. I already know what to put in my cabbage. I already know what to do with this. I calls him up anyway. Dad, hey, I'm about to make this. What should I put in it? And then just allow him to just tell me as if I'm a kid again. Mm-hmm. You know, her and her mama are the worst. And the system in place will see children of color in these poor conditions with people who are no good to themselves. I agree with you. You, BZ, Did you see when she put that hand sanitizer on that baby's pacifier? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And then stuck it right in his mouth. And she probably thought that was her being a great mother. I bet you she wouldn't put hand sanitizer in her fucking mouth, though. You understand what I'm saying? Have hand sanitizer. It says, like, oh my God. It's not even to be putting in your mouth. It's almost mostly alcohol, I thought. Like a drying alcohol. Because you ever put hand sanitizer on your hand, it wets it. And then it's like an alcohol, though. It dries it out real quick. And then she put that shit on that baby pacifier and stuck it in his mouth. Common sense would have said, don't do that. Like this isn't made for that. Which all she had to do was do what parents have been doing for years. The pacifier hits the fucking floor, bitch. You pick it up, stick it in your grown ass mouth, suck off the dirt off it, and give it to the baby, bitch. Like that would have been better than that bullshit you did. Parents have been doing all kinds of shit for years to make sure that their babies are okay. You know what I mean? Like shit, if I ain't have the it hit the floor for a couple of seconds, I would put that pacifier in my mouth to clean it off before I give it to that baby. And then good, God bless. Look. Don't act like y'all ain't never do no shit like that when y'all was kids. Your candy hit the floor and you be like, what it was? Devil Missy. It used to be something. I still don't know. Devil, God bless you, Devil Missy or some shit like that. And you kind of like a little saying in order to say it wasn't on the ground that long, but let me bless it. But then, look, that would have been way better than the bullshit that she did with that hand sanitizer. Her car should have been clean, so even if it would have hit the floor, should have been too much of nothing on it like that. The baby breathing that type of shit. If the car floor is that dirty, that means you already breathing in that dirty air. So it wouldn't have been such a bad thing. But using that hand sanitizer, something wrong with that cuckoo girl. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to say